Sit back, relax a little bit. Let me tell you a story. See if yours is anything like mine. Remember when I was a kid? So much better when I popped the lid. Feel the rabble, open it up.
Exactly, listen to Shiny. Right, and Cash Out's the easy way to get money transferred when y'all with friends. So, jump into that and then we'll get back to it.
He said, baby, jump in the back, boy. Tailgate crazy.
Tailgate crazy. What's going on, everyone? Sorry about the delay. Had some technical difficulties, but we're getting it going. So we're back. Welcome to Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network. I'm the bus driver, Cedric Green. He's the co-pilot, Justin, over there somewhere. So welcome back, guys. Sorry if you missed us on Sunday. Just had a couple things going on. But we're here. And we got a lot to bring you guys because we're going to be doing quick reviews on week 12, and then we're going to move into week 13. You know, we got the 3 games on Thursday and then the game on Friday. So quite a bit to talk about, especially some big wins. So for tonight, aside from, previews and reviews, we'll start off with the injury updates, have Justin going over that. And then we'll get to some start-sit questions. So get those questions in the chat, guys, because you got about probably 2 weeks, a week left in some leagues before your playoffs start. So this week and next week is gonna be pretty crucial, right? So get those questions in the chat. Your start sit questions. We'll touch on some waiver wires. Review Justin's score from last week, and then look at his team of the week from this week. And like we do, we just talk some football. So we'll just get right into it. Justin, I'll turn it over to you and let you talk those injury reports. See what we got going on.
Cool. Yeah, thanks. So far I got this stuff from fantasyalarm.com. They were very helpful in finding the news updates and keeping up to date with the whole where everybody's at with their injuries over week 12 and where they're going for the week, and just some coach speak and how they feel about these players that I'm about to go through for this week's games. Trevor Lawrence reportedly practiced on Monday. He was in a limited fashion. Doug Peterson said that they're going to evaluate him throughout the week, and they'll make a coach's decision by game time whether or not he's good to go to play Sunday. He's been gone for 2-3 weeks, and it was an AC joint sprain in his shoulder, so it was somewhat serious enough where it's kept him out of a couple games. I mean, I don't know his matchup going into this week, but I still don't feel comfortable starting him coming off a bye week and an injury. And just how the Jaguars have been playing in general. They've been kind of on a downswing sort of team, so I don't know what sort of momentum they have going into this week, even if Trevor Lawrence plays. I know his running back, Tank Bigsby, is still ruled out. He hasn't been making any progress on his injury, so they'll have to continue to monitor that throughout the week because that'll help with the offense and Trevor Lawrence coming back from injury. So I just keep an eye on him. As far as like fantasy forecast goes, I would start a plethora of other options over him, so not too dire of a situation. Gardner Minshew broke his collarbone over the weekend.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Broncos done him dirty. They put him into the ground and knocked him out of the year. So he will be done rehabbing that collarbone. And on that note, Aiden O'Connell just got reactivated off of IR. So if he is cleared medically by doctors, he should be the starter for this weekend. Otherwise, they got Desmond Ridder, and they're going up against the Chiefs this weekend. So I think I'm just staying away from all my Raiders options as far as that goes. That offense is looking pretty rough. On the Alexander Madison, Zamir White front, no news. So not necessarily no news is good news. It's just no news of what progress Zamir White and Alexander Madison are making throughout the week. I'd say their status is TBD. Keep checking in throughout the rest of this week, see what the coaches are saying. But I would expect and plan for Amir Abdullah to take over the role again as the lead back with the sprinkling of Dylan Laube here and there on a few downs, and I think McCormick was the other back. But regardless, it's an offense in a backfield that you're probably staying away for your fantasy matchups. You're not looking to add or plug those guys into play. Maybe if you're desperate, throw in Amir Abdullah if Zamir White and Madison are able to come back this week. On the Lions front, we got 2 injuries to talk about, big ones Thursday's game. So these injuries will affect whether or not these players are available for you in your lineups for Thursday's game. First one is David Montgomery. Is a shoulder injury. He came out of the third quarter and did not return. And from what I'm gathered from fantasyalarm.com, spoke to Dan Campbell after the game, and Montgomery was able to go back into the game, and it was a coach's decision by Dan to hold him out and let him rest and get recovered for the game on Thursday. So he's expected and should be good to go, and I expect to fire him back into your lineups on Thursday against the Bears. It was just a precautionary thing. I know it's rough for us for fantasy, but Dan Campbell and the Lions probably made the smart, wise decision and just keeping him out the rest of that game, letting him heal up and get the extra time so he can recover and be ready for you guys on Thursday. Another big name player off that for the Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown did not practice Monday due to a knee. This isn't determined whether it's a re-aggravation of the knee or if this is a new injury. That said, though, he's expected to play Thursday. He did practice in limited fashion today, and from what's coming out of their room there, they're saying that they expect, and he expects himself to be ready to go and playing on Thursday against the Bears. So you should fire it up confidently in your lineup. But just in case, last minute lineup decisions, just keep an eye on the injury reports before game time on Thursday to see whether or not Montgomery and Amon-Ra are good to go or not. But so far from the reports, they are trending to play Thursday. Now, Brian Robinson Jr., ankle, is available. His availability for Sunday is TBD still. They are being precautionary with him since he's had lingered injuries throughout the year. He's been having multiple setbacks with his health, and they're going to play it precautionary and keep this news to them until about game time. So hopefully he's able to play, but it all depends on whether or not how he practices throughout the week and if there's any regression or progression with that injury that he has and whether or not he'll be available. Now, in case if he is not able to play on Sunday, his counterpart, Austin Eckler, was also knocked out of the game this last week. He had a concussion that he suffered on a kick return or a punt return, either or. And he's going through the protocols right now. That is up in the air. He's still going through the process, but the likelihood is they're optimistic he will play Sunday, but it's the concussion protocol. He's had one earlier in the year. Those injuries are, kind of funny. Some days you're good, other day you're not, and it just depends on leading up to game time whether or not Eckler will be good to go. That being said, if you are an owner of Brian Robinson Jr., if you're owner of Austin Eckler, there's a waiver ad that you could possibly add if you're desperate and looking at a need for a running back 2 or possible flex for your lineups. And that was keep an eye on Jeremy McNichols. He took over for those 2 on the game on Sunday. He will get the opportunities and usage out of those guys. They are playing the Titans, so a very respectable defense, not necessarily great, good, or bad, or whatnot, but volume is king, and if those 2 aren't able to play on Sunday, he will get the opportunities. The passing game, he's a good pass catching back, and he'll be between the tackles in the first and second down. So just keep monitoring on those 2 players, and if you really want to jump the gun and be proactive, you can. I would recommend a waiver ad of Jeremy McNichols this week on waivers. Josh Downs got injured over the weekend playing the Lions. He had a shoulder injury. They said he avoided serious injury, but with the diagnosis, what they have that I read is he's still week to week, not day to day. So it's not serious in the sense that it's season ending. It's just serious enough to where he is already ruled out for week 13. He will not play this weekend. So he is week to week. They don't look like they're putting him on IR at all, but he's just going to be monitored through after week 13 through the rest of the season, and just check back in with him. I mean, if you have an out or an IR spot, throw him in there, and then feel free to add accordingly to waivers is where you need. Another optimistic news on the injury front. This is a deep one. He's been out since week 3. Brandon Cooks expected to return on Thursday against the Giants. He's been out this long with a knee. They said he's progressed enough and medically cleared to play and should be ready to go for Thursday's game. Now, whether or not you fire him up right away in your lineups is another question. I personally would like to wait and see, and especially with the quarterback situation in Dallas and that passing attack, I think it all funnels through CeeDee Lamb still, but at the same time, I don't trust Cooper Rush for fantasy purposes. So I think it's great news that Brandon Cooks is back. Stash him, keep him on your bench if you have him. If you're desperate enough, maybe take a flyer if you got an open spot on your bench to have just in case of emergency or break glass. But it's good to hear that Brandon Cooks will be returning to football this Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
The tight end, though, Jake Ferguson, he's not likely to play on Thursday with the concussion. He's going through protocols, but it's not progressed enough where they're thinking it's looking like he is going to be well enough to go for Thursday's game. So, unfortunately, he is likely to miss on Thursday. Also, Romeo Doubs, he should sustain a concussion on this weekend's game, and he's not, according to Coach Matt LaFleur, not likely to play on Thursday against the Dolphins, which is unfortunate because he was doing really well that game, and it's an unfortunate injury that they had to take precautions for because they are a team in the playoff hunt looking to make a run this year, so they have to be extra careful and safe with their players, and they're looking to aim to take the precautionary route with Romeo Doubs. So unfortunately, Jake Ferguson, Romeo Doubs on Thursday's games are not likely to play due to their concussions. Cedric Tillman, his availability for Sunday is also to be determined on Thursday. He took a big hit and he sustained a concussion against the Steelers. They're continuing to monitor it through the week, see how he progresses through the protocol. But as of right now, they haven't made a decision or a call on it. It's to be determined. We'll check back with the news and the updates on him if you have him on your roster as far as whether or not he'll be able to play on Monday. They'll be playing against the Broncos. So that's going to be a interesting lineup decision for you to make. If you have pivot options, I would recommend you pivot to those right away rather than keeping him in your lineup, because by the time he plays, you're going to have very limited options to where if you're proactive now, find his replacement just in case and have them starting in place for him at the moment until you hear more news on his health. And that is all of the injuries that I have for you, but there is one on the defensive side of the ball that whether it's not relevant to fantasy, is Brandon Graham. He tore a muscle, and he is out for the season. So that hurts the Eagles' defense. He was doing really well, and unfortunately, he'll be done for the year. Yeah. That was the only injuries of note that I have for you at the moment.
Cool. That's quite a bit of injuries.
Yeah, it is quite the list, and it's weird as the most of the injuries list is concussions. That those head injuries are just frequent, and they are very, very tough to diagnose and evaluate.
Do you think they're going to start making? Do you think they'll start making guardian caps required?
No, I don't think they'll do that. I mean, they'll probably keep it as an elective for players if they feel safe and want to do it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do. It's weird, that injury, concussion, because there's no like set thing with it. It's different for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it it's kind of hard for them to like measure it or to truly like diagnose it. just because of that reasoning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, the Broncos waived Greg Dulcich.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going to ask you about how you felt about that. Are they going to activate and elevate Parham, or is this just to let Kroll and Troutman cook?
I feel like they're kind of letting Kroll and Troutman cook, but they might bring
Okay.
Parham. I mean, he is supposed to be a sleeping giant, right? So,
Okay. Yeah, he's a good red zone target. He's a good chain mover, a big body target, can catch the ball. He's got good hands. So hopefully he gets the opportunity. He did well with Los Angeles when he played for them with Justin Herbert. So that remains to be seen.
Yeah, right. Dang. So it looks like Malik Neighbors has passed Puka as most receptions.
Okay.
He has the record for most receptions in a rookie season at 67. That's pretty cool.
That's impressive, despite the quarterback situation going on in New York right now. So he is making the case and the argument that he is trying to be quarterback proof. He's still productive. He's still having performances. He's still balling out and doing his thing, and that's good to see from a rookie.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that was our injury reports. Thank you, Justin, for that. That was a pretty extensive list, and like you said,
I try to keep it concentrated fantasy relevancy. So there's a whole lot of injuries out there, but I try to keep it to what is pertinent to us.
Yeah. There was some this past weekend was super busy. I thought it was some good games. I thought we saw a lot of crazy scores, a lot of crazy plays. But so we'll get to that though on the other side. Let's take a break really quick, and then
while we're on break, guys, throw in your questions, comments, fantasy lineup advice, anything you got. We're ready here to answer for you. So feel free to shoot it down the pipe.
Get it in there, and then when we come back on the other side of this promo, we'll be talking your start set questions and waiver wire ads. So we got some good information. So let's get back to it. We'll be right back, guys. You're watching Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports, or Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network, however you prefer, on all your favorite social media. So don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Thanks for rocking with us. We'll be right back. Yes, y'all. You don't stop. What's going on, guys? Those of you just joining in, this is Fantasy Football Reports over here on Shady Sports Network. I'm the bus driver, Cedric, and he's the co-pilot, Justin. We just had Justin doing our injury updates, man, and it's quite the list. A lot of concussions, just a few crazy accidents, like Devonta Smith and a bunch of starters, man, especially at this time of the season. What are you doing? How are you replacing these players, right? The waiver wire has to be your only choice, right? Most trade deadlines have passed.
Yeah, most trade deadlines should have passed by now. So now it's waiver wire digging. So that waiver priority holds a little bit more weight again in your leagues. So you got to be vigilant and you got to be proactive with who you're going to decide to go with on the waivers.
Yeah, like I'm looking here. What about like a wide receiver?
As far as quarterback,
let's start quarterbacks. Yeah, let's start quarterbacks.
Yeah, let's just go by position by order. Like starting for quarterbacks, I think if you need, like, you're in trouble with your quarterback situation, I mean, I think an ad that you could do if he's still on. I don't know if maybe Geno Smith is still out there on waivers, or I don't know. Maybe that's a reach. Maybe he's not that available, but Other quarterback options could be Jameis Winston, but he's also going up against the Broncos this weekend, and that's a big task at hand. It looks like it's in Denver too, so best of luck there. But otherwise, I mean,
what about like a Will Levis?
I was just gonna say maybe a Will Levis would be a sneaky. He's been playing well these last 2 weeks. He's had actually a few 20-point games, couple touchdowns thrown, but they are playing Washington in Washington, so that's not too threatening of a matchup. So he could be an option for you. Another option I know, sounds dirty, but Cooper Rush against the Giants. That Giants team is just a hapless bunch of guys, so maybe you could take advantage of him on a
he did have pretty solid outings the past 2 weeks. I mean, last week against Washington, he had 247 passing yards, 2 passing TDs, and he had a rushing yard. So nothing really big on that end. But he had over 18 points. And then the week before that against the Texans, against the Texans defense, he had 354 passing yards. One pass over 40 yards, one pass over a touchdown over 40 yards as well, a touchdown over 50 yards. And he had a couple rushing yards, putting him over 21 points. So, I mean, while maybe not consistent the past 2 weeks, that's a trend, right? I feel like it's pointing I guess you could say it's pointed down because he had 21 and then he had 18.
But I mean, if you're looking on the waiver wire, you have bye weeks up or you're hit by injuries, I mean, it's better than nothing. But I got a couple other names for you. Let me know what you think about it. Possibly if you're really like, these are deep dives, deep grabs. How do you feel about Derek Carr this week versus the Rams off of waivers, or Bryce Young versus the Buccaneers?
Oh, man. I mean, I don't know about Derek Carr versus the Rams. I mean, I know we just watched who did the Rams just play?
The Eagles.
The Eagles just go in and just run all over them.
Yeah, and the Eagles are more effective, more efficient offense than the Saints are. But respectively, Derek Carr has had a couple 20-point games before the bye week. Multi-touchdown games. I mean,
we could see that though. I mean, New Orleans has a running game. It's not like, Alvin Kamara is not a slouch, right? So they could come in and pop off, giving Derek Carr room to work. I just feel like it just doesn't have many targets though.
Yeah, that's the biggest question mark there too. So again, this is just advice, whether or not you're desperate with injuries or bye weeks at the quarterback position. Trade deadline's gone and passed, so you got to make do with what you got. So, I mean, from what I've seen the last couple weeks, I think probably my top 3 options I would go with off the waiver wire for quarterbacks is Will Levis 1, Derek Carr 2, and Cooper Rush 3.
No Danny DeVito?
No Danny DeVito. I'm not looking for some pizza magic this week against the Cowboys. They had a big momentum game win against the Commanders. As crazy and as lucky as it was this last Sunday, it definitely builds the morale in the room. And the Cowboys always, typically play respectfully on Thanksgiving in their house. So I expect it to be a Cowboys game. I don't see much other than the Giants obviously playing from behind, but I don't see many opportunities for scores coming out of the Giants offense.
Yeah. Why are they? It's like the worst game to watch. Well, I guess not. Maybe because,
the whole game could be essentially just garbage time for both teams.
That's what I was going to say. So you can just like zone out, right? You just have football on and just zone out. You don't have to worry about it. Looks like we did get a question in. Let's jump over to it. You know how we do it.
Absolutely.
Nathan Frankel. What up, Nathan? Thanks for tuning in. Hey, Callum. Yes.
Yeah, first of all, yes, Callum, hello.
Thanks
Welcome.
for tuning in.
Glad to have you. How are you doing tonight?
Glad to have you guys. Don't forget to hit that like button, and bring your friends in. Hit that share button. Get more people in here.
Make it a watch party. Hell yeah.
Right? So yeah, Nathan comes in. What's up, fellas? Which two you like this week? Odunze against the Lions, weak and injured secondary. Ooh, shot fired. Is that shot?
Not really. They are injured, but they're not necessarily weak. The next man up, and they've been stepping up. They held Anthony Richardson in check this past Sunday, so that's a good sign. Emmanuel Mosley should be back this week. Terry Arnold should be back this week, but it's looking like Carlton Davis is a little bit iffy on whether or not he'll be able to make it or not. But regardless, I like Odunze going this week against the Lions. They're going to be probably playing from behind or playing, shootout ball with the Lions. So I've been liking what Odunze has been doing these last couple of weeks. He's been finding Caleb's eye, and he's been making some big catches. So,
I feel like, not to cut you off, but
go ahead.
I feel like Caleb Williams and the Bears have done fairly well in their primetime morning games.
Yeah, it's kind of like eerily similar though to like Lions of old, where it's just they're a couple plays away from having wins, and it hasn't bounced that way. It's unfortunate results, but like the team on offense since firing Shane Waldron has been playing a little bit. I wouldn't say reckless, but a little bit less conservative and more field driving and more like chain moving, which is good to see in the passing game. Caleb Williams is starting to mature in his rookie season and start making some smart decisions. And he's throwing that ball with some whip and zip on it. So he's been able to just scramble. Like this last week against the Vikings, there was a couple plays there I was kind of remarked like, how did he do that? Like that was incredible. So I like the prospect, even though it's a tough matchup on Thursday against the Lions. I do like Odunze as one of those two options you have. And I would agree, though, Pittman against New England, Christian Gonzalez is a real thing. He's turning into a shutdown corner, and he's like, doing like his best PS2 impression. He's doing very well over there in New England with holding their top receiving options, whoever it is on the other side of the ball in check. So I'm probably fading Pittman this week. So, I mean, lesser of two bads, I would go Jerry Jeudy and Odunze for your two options there.
Yeah, because are we sure that Pat Surtain is going to be guarding Jeudy? I mean,
and I'm very jealous of you, Nathan, going to the game this Thursday. I hope you have a great time and you cheer extra loud for the Lions if you're a Lions fan. But just having a great time in general. It should be a good show. The Lions tend to put up points so far we've seen this year, and they have a good operating offense that can make it fun to watch. And I also agree, Nathan, that Caleb and Odunze just haven't seemed to connect earlier this year, but last week especially and the week before that, they're starting to get a connection. They're starting to get it going. Like everybody, even DJ Moore was getting into the thing again, and Keenan Allen. So I think that passing offense for the Bears is on the upswing. So
the Bears.
I like what they have going the rest of the season. They're gonna have to throw the ball and to put up points.
And I mean, plus, Caleb Williams been here, and everybody talk about Jane Daniels, Bo Nix, even Drake May. Drake May has been popping off these past few weeks, right? So. It seems like he's starting to find somewhat of his groove, and hopefully he can continue it. So I think that should be probably the best game of Thursday, in my opinion. It should have been the late game.
It very much could be. I think the one that I think will have because I think the Bears-Lions game could be tight and close and be pretty tense, but I think that Packers-Dolphins game at night holds a lot of weight too, because say the Lions win earlier on in the day, that puts the Packers in a pressure point to win the game at home under the lights, and then if the Dolphins lose, the Bills clinch the AFC East. So the Dolphins are really got their backs against the wall. It's a must-win game for them. for the division. So, I mean, I like the Lions game going against the Bears, but I also think that the Packers-Dolphins game could be pretty electric too. A lot of scoring pieces there, depending on how their quarterbacks play, because we don't know which Tua we're going to get, and you don't know which Jordan Love you could get. I mean, they both have been playing mid to okay football lately, so it'll come down to which other one of those quarterbacks takes over that game. Yeah, what is it?
Only thing is, Anthony Richardson seems to like Pittman, and Downs might be out, but agreed.
Downs will be out. He's been listed as out for Week 13, so that is a good point. And if you must need a win.
Yeah,
I'd have to agree. I can't. I've seen. I traded Pittman away in a few leagues earlier on in the year. I got out of the sweepstakes there, so I don't blame you. I'd still roll the dice though with a Monday Night Miracle with Judy.
Downs may not be out necessarily. He's a long shot, but they didn't. I don't see him ruled out.
From what I read, he was week to week, and he's for sure out.
Yeah, that was before, and then they came out and said he doesn't have a major injury. So I mean,
regardless, it's not looking promising. You don't want to be putting Downs in your lineup this week. I would say
no, you don't want to play Downs.
No. But I like, as you know, I'm not a fan of Judy or whatever, but like Jameis Winston's gonna have to huck and chuck that ball this week if he wants to get a win against the Denver Broncos. So
yeah, but I mean, Riley Moss is out. So
he is. Oh, what happened with that knee injury? I watched every snap of that Broncos game.
Yeah, he like messed up.
They didn't really touch on it after he went down. They just cut to commercial, and I didn't get to hear what the heck happened. So Phyllis said, "What do you know?"
Yeah, that sucks. So it did kind of suck to see him go down because he was killing it. But he has an MCL injury.
Ooh.
But he does have until Monday, so he's not ruled out.
He's got that extra day of rest, so hopefully for the best. Hopefully he gets back out there and play. But
I mean, I think they'll try to challenge him with Jerry Jeudy on that side because you still have what was up with Cedric Tillman? Is he playing?
He's concussed. He has a good. It's to be determined. They haven't decided. He has to go through the protocol and all those things. So
yeah,
just have to see how he is towards the end of the week.
Yeah, but still, I feel like the Browns have a pretty decent stable of receivers.
So I feel that Judy could benefit more this weekend of games than Pittman would, because Christian Gonzalez is a solid corner and he'll be put on Pittman, whereas Judy might have a little bit more freedom if Riley Moss isn't playing.
That's true. No, that's true. Especially because I mean, you still got Elijah Moore too on the other side, who, so any one of those receivers can pop.
Elijah Moore is more of a gadget wide receiver in the slot, and he plays. Whereas Judy is probably their big body receiver that's gonna stretch the field a little bit more. So
he said he also has the Broncos defense. So I mean, kind of like playing against yourself.
It also takes one play though. If Judy gets in for a touchdown or whatnot, then you get your floor play there, and if the Broncos get a couple turnovers and get some sacks, they'll counterbalance out any points that the Browns may score. It wouldn't change anything for me. I'd still rock the Broncos defense for sure this weekend, and if I had to play Judy, I would. And then you catch his question before that. What do you think, said on Tyreek?
It's crazy, man, because you're seeing Waddle, outscore him the past couple of weeks, and he's had that injury for what, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks now. That hand injury, low key, that's there, is not there, that we don't talk about. I mean, but it's Tyreek though, right? You're probably gonna play him.
I feel I have to start him. I have to keep starting him because I'm afraid to not start him and have him go off. So,
well, I don't know. Yeah, I just feel like
he's too good of a player to have him because you don't want to get burned in your lineup if he pulls that 40-point game out. He's capable.
But
of it.
I totally wish I would have started Tank Dell over him last week.
It's frustrating. And the thing is too, with the emergence of Jonnu Smith and Jalen Waddle, that's really hurting Tyreek Hill right now. It's taken Tua's eyes away from Tyreek for those big explosive plays when he's got Jalen Waddle and Jonnu Smith hovering over the middle with a security blanket. I mean, I think Tua's playing some really conservative football right now. He's checking down to Devon Achane and his tight end and Waddle, and he's not really looking for that big explosive play, which is concerning. But when games that you have to win, you have to make big plays that separate, wins and losses. It's going to have to come sooner than later. So I'm hopeful for Tyreek Hill. I hope he emerges out of this rut that he's in, but it will take Tua looking down the field and being more courageous in his throws and stretching the field, because right now he's playing very manageable football, and he's not playing superstar football, and that's what Tyreek needs out of Tua, is to take that game to the next level and trust him with those deep throws. I mean, I don't know how that offensive line's doing. I haven't been watching the games. I don't know if he's getting enough protection or not, and why he's settling for more of these intermediate to short routes. But I'm confident in Tyreek Hill that things can turn around here. I think they got a good schedule coming up, even after playing these Packers, that things can change in a hurry. And once it comes to playoff time, you just need one game to get you to the next round. You just need one game for your guy to go off, and Tyreek Hill is very capable of it. He just needs Tua to step up.
Okay. Looks like Nathan, his league is still.
Thank you for the questions, Nathan. Thank you for the engagement.
I know, right? Yeah, hit that like button, and don't forget to share. Tell your people to come watch us too. Let's get
absolutely. That'd be very appreciative. We'd be very
We're a quarter of the way there. Let's keep it going, guys. Keep it growing. So yeah, he says currently has an offer out to James Conner for Bucky Irvin. Feel like Bucky's ceiling is way higher and haven't liked what I've seen from Conner recently. Good trade. I don't know.
I would say
Conner,
it's a trade that if you have other stable floor pieces in your running back room, that you could do that, because James Conner has that backfield. He has the volume. He has the opportunity. He is their goal line back. He has had rough weeks, yes, but he's also had weeks where he's boosted and sustained your lineup through your matchups. But going for this playoff stretch, I actually like Bucky Irving's schedule over James Conner's schedule. So I would probably wouldn't take the offer, just solely on that. I agree. I like Bucky Irving's ceiling. I think it's way higher than Conner's going forward through the playoff push. So I personally, it's not a bad trade. It's just a trade that doesn't get it over the edge for you. That would be most beneficial for you for the rest of the season.
Is this Conner over Minnesota and a must-win, or Conner against Minnesota in a must-win game? I mean,
yeah, and I don't know how the Vikings did with running backs. I know when they played the Jaguars, he kept those backs in check. I don't remember see how Swift did last week against them on the Bears, but the Vikings do have a stout and a very aggressive run defense, so it could stymie Conner's running potential, but his pass game potential might be elevated because of that, of Kyler Murray dumping it off to him out of the backfield, and he might vulture in, a couple goal line scores if necessary. So there is opportunities and avenues as well for Conner to have a productive Sunday against Minnesota, but it depends on what route with your roster build and your team construction you want to go. Whereas James Conner will probably be more of the floor play for you, the more stabilizer in your lineup. And Bucky Irvin will be more of the home run hit, ceiling buster kind of guy to put you over the top in your matchups.
Well, Minnesota is the number one defense in fantasy on Sleeper right now. So,
how do you feel about it? I'm comfortable starting Irving over Conner this week. How are you feel about those two running backs?
Irvin over Conner. Irvin, I just feel like any one of those three running backs in that Tampa Bay offense can pop off, but Irvin has kind of taken over and taken the reins over the past few weeks, especially last week. He went off last week against the Giants, but and wait, isn't he playing Carolina? Yeah.
Yes.
So he's playing Carolina. I mean, that sounds a lot better than James Conner going up against the number 1 defense. And
since it's a trade, though, it's not just a lineup decision. It's also a trade. So it's the player you'll be losing rest of season.
I forgot about that. So much going into it.
So
I mean, I would probably rock with Bucky.
I haven't looked at their schedules, but the last time I checked a few weeks back as I was building my roster for late season, why I have enough shares of Bucky Irving is I like his rest of season schedule. I haven't checked the Cardinals.
Yeah, Carolina, Vegas, Chargers, Cowboys, Carolina, Saints. All teams that you can run against.
Yeah.
I think that looks a lot better. Especially
we've seen it with him earlier. He can bust the 70-yard run. He can break one for a touchdown, and he's gotten some goal line opportunities too. He's the pass catching back, just like James Conner. So it's kind of like the trade-off where rest of season I see Conner being your floor stabilizer in your lineup, like I said. And I mean, if you want to blow your matchup out of the water, Bucky Irvin has that potential to do that for you. Whereas Conner, I think, will just be more of like the, probably like sub 100 yards and a touchdown, which is not.
Well, I mean, Conner's no slouch either. Let me see what he's done.
Yeah, he isn't. So,
but
they both have similar like attributes and qualities in their game off of each other. They're similar players in that sense, but.
Well, Connor's like a Derrick Henry, I think, more so. I guess he did kind of suck last week, but that's neither here nor there, right? He had 41 receiving yards, only 8 rushing yards on 7 carries.
Yeah, so it was a difficult, it was a rough week playing in Seattle, but at the same time, we've also seen him have bad games early on in the year, but we've also seen his ceiling games and his good games, and they have been. Potential matchup.
I don't think his ceiling's been as high as Bucky's, though. Definitely hasn't hit that, but I mean, I would probably, I'd stick with Bucky Irving.
So we here think we should stick Nathan with Bucky Irving.
Yo, let's take a promo break really quick.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then we'll come back. Looks like Nathan got some more stuff in, so we'll keep it going with these questions. But we'll be right back, Nathan. Get those questions in, and we'll talk about McLaurin on the other side, guys. You're watching Fantasy Football Reports over here on Shady Sports Network. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that share button, and then let's watch this wanted promo. Let's see how this looks.
Hell yeah! And you're welcome, Nathan. Happy to help.
Heck yeah. True crime fans, I have a podcast you need to check out. Wanted. That's right. Wanted. Hosted by A.C. Roberts. This takes you into the darkest corners of unsolved history. Each episode dives deep into the chilling cases of killers who vanished into thin air. Some you've heard of, and some you haven't. Imagine the terror of the Texarkana moonlight murders, or the mysterious legends of the bloody Benders still haunting Kansas. AC doesn't just tell you what happened. She immerses you in it, taking you step by step through each unsolved case in a gripping storytelling style atmosphere. So if you are ready to explore killers who got away, search for Wanted on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to podcasts. That's right, Wanted. WANTED on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And then go follow them on Instagram at _wanted_podcast. That's THE_WANTED_PODCAST. Again, Wanted, hosted by AC Roberts, everywhere you listen to podcasts. Dang. I like it.
I love it. And I binged that podcast at work the other day. I'm all caught up. That's a great show, Ced.
Heck yeah. I love it.
I'm super happy she's helping us out by promoting our stuff on her platform, and we're happy to help her on ours. So
right.
You have my stamp of approval to check it out, guys.
Woo! Go check it out, guys. Wanted. It's a true crime podcast, and I mean, shoot, it was a true crime what the Broncos did to the Raiders. We'll get to that. Guys, thanks for watching. Those of you just tuning in, it's Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network. Head over to ShadySportsNetwork.com. You'll find so many sports, so much sports news, so many articles, so many live events, Big Three basketball, NBA talk, NFL talk. Heck, on here we'll be talking the Nuggets and the Timberwolves here soon as we get through the playoffs and fantasy football. But don't worry, we got you football right.
We'll make that transition. We'll still be a football show, but at the same time, the season's changed and so do we. So we gotta keep things moving along here.
Got to keep it going in Rocktober. But yeah, we got my man Nathan. Nathan, thanks for chiming in and rocking with us.
And he dropped a sub for us. I really appreciate that, Nathan. That's awesome. I appreciate you sharing it too. That goes a long way.
Woo! Yes, sir. It goes a very, very long way, guys. And it doesn't cost anything. Just keep it going. So big hand to you, Nathan. Shout out for that. Thanks for hitting that like button. And the rest of you guys, thanks for tuning in with us and rocking with us. We got some more comments they'll hear from Nathan. We'll touch on before we get into the next segment.
Oh, yes. We missed this one.
Yeah, any concern for McLaurin? Seems like they just want to use him down the field. And if he didn't have that 88-yard tutty, his stat line would have been pretty poor. Fourth most targeted Commander last 2 weeks. Yeah, and then the week before that, he kind of really, really let me down.
I think I'm less concerned with McLaurin and his production than I am
with McDaniels.
With Daniels and his down the field decision making. I don't know if it's just these slow starts they've been getting to these last couple of weeks, but when McLaurin was being efficient and providing steady fantasy value, Commanders were jumping on teams right away and scoring points early and exposing those defenses right away. So I think I'm not concerned with McLaurin at all. I'm still confident rocking him in my lineups where I got him. He's at least a wide receiver 2, definitely a flex. And they got the Tennessee Titans this weekend, which should be an okay matchup. The Vikings were able to go over the top with him in passing. And the Texans were still able to throw the ball against them. So I feel that if Jaden Daniels just stays on his game, he should be able to find the ball to McLaurin. It should be, especially with those running back injuries, I think Daniels will have to throw the ball a little bit more. So his targets of both Browns, Ertz, and McLaurin should get a heavy dosage of targets this weekend against the Titans. And the Titans will be without L'Jarius Sneed. He's still not active. I think he's on injured reserve still, so it's not as threatening of a matchup for the Commanders' wide receivers. I would be more concerned with Daniels and getting him the ball than McLaurin and what he's staying healthy. And props to him for catching that big 88-yard tutty, because that saved you a lot of people their weeks, because having a wide receiver of his caliber do you like that really does a knock on the confidence meter for starting them week in and week out. But Commanders are going to need to win games too, so they're going to need to push the ball down the field. They're going to have to throw, and they're going to have to put up points. So it's a little dip, but I feel like he could turn it around easily this weekend.
Yeah, I got a question. Tyreek Hill or Scary Terry? Who are you starting?
I would that's hard because I have to start one. I can't flex one and start the other. I think I would go Scary Terry over Tyreek Hill, just solely on the fact that I think McLaurin has a safer floor this week against the Titans defense than Tyreek Hill going up against the Packers. I'm a believer that McLaurin is going to turn it around, and there's less mouths to feed and more opportunity for McLaurin this week than Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins. Oh, that would be a good. I mean, if you could pull that one off, hell yeah, I'm totally all for it. But that is a tough question, Sid. I like how you asked that. I mean, it's tough, but
that's what I have to decide upon every week in my fantasy.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
In my foosball league.
Okay.
I picked up a couple other because I have Tank Dell on the bench. I have this is a crazy 8-person league, so I mean our teams are all pretty stacked. But I mean, yeah, I'm always deciding between Scary Terry, Tyreek Hill, Tank Dell, and then I got DeAndre Hopkins too. I feel like he's been a kind of around that realm as well too. It's just Tyreek, like Nathan says, Tyreek just it's been hard, man. It's been hard, man, and
I know I said earlier I'd hate to have him, like what Nathan's saying, going off on my bench, but if I have to choose between those two players, at least with McLaurin, we've seen that big touchdown. We've seen it happen. We've seen his weeks be salvaged by big plays where Tyreek hasn't had it this year. And it's not that Tyreek's a bad player or anything. It's just
what you saying, Tyreek?
The season's kind of like just not their game plan of like huck it, chuck it football. I mean, the emergence of Devon Achane in the running game, and he's also sniping targets from him too, coming out of the backfield. Raheem Mostert doing his thing.
He didn't even practice.
Well, Raheem Mostert?
Tyreek Hill. He's out for personal reasons. So he didn't practice.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was limited on Monday. He's been on their injury report for how long? Who knows?
Maybe that injury is more bothersome than we know. Maybe Tua isn't throwing him that ball deep because he, doesn't feel comfortable with Tyreek's wrist. I don't know. It's a situation I'm not aware of, but if he's got those issues going on, like you say right now, I feel more comfortable than starting Terry McLaurin. I know he's healthy. I know he's capable of hitting the big play as of recently, and just it's frustration with Tyreek. I mean, if you have to make those decisions, it's tough, but sometimes you have to go with what the eye test has shown you this year, and right now it's shown that McLaurin's getting the ball a lot more consistently than Tyreek.
Yeah. Well, and McLaurin's the number one receiver, and I guess Tyreek's the number one receiver. Well,
Tyreek's
who knows, right?
Miami,
is he, or is Jalen Waddle the number one receiver?
Jalen Waddle is. Don't even get me started. I have a whole Jalen Waddle rant, but
this next we got Scooby coming in. I meant to say I got I wish Grayson was on.
Where is that man? I haven't seen him for a while.
I know, right? I got AJ Brown and Jonathan Taylor back from him, and Jonathan Taylor just over it. But anyway, we got Scooby Taylor.
Thanks, Scooby, for chiming in.
Yes, thank you for chiming in. Hit that like button and please share. Tell your friends, come talk to us. In a Dynasty Superflex League, should they trade away Pickens in a second for AJ Brown? No. Why? Oh, well, I guess not knowing the future of and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just jump in.
No, you're good. You're good. You take this is your bus. I'm just sitting in the back, enjoying my lunchbox and stuff.
Bro.
Checking out my
Copilot. But I was just looking because there's a lot of news about Aaron Rodgers, because the whole thing is, were they going to bench him? They said they weren't going to bench him. They're going to play him for sure. So it doesn't look like they're trying to get rid of him. But at the same time, are they trying to keep him next year? Right? Who knows? But he did come out and say the Jets would be his first choice if he did return. But he also said if he did return, and it's also Aaron Rodgers, who knows what he does. So I guess with that being said, it does feel like George Pickens is in, he's the one that's going to suffer from this. But is he though? I mean, we see Malik Neighbors going off with, whoever the quarterback is for the Giants and Danny DeVito. Yeah, see, so and I mean, I'm just not the biggest fan of the Eagles receivers. I mean, granted, I just said I just got AJ Brown back and he helped me out big time last weekend. But I'm just so scared of just depending on Eagles receivers, and I would rather go with Pickens.
Do you think that the Eagles wide receivers are not as talented as George Pickens, or do you feel
no? It's just a lot that goes into it, though, because they get a lot.
Because this is dynasty. This is not. Yeah. It goes beyond this year. So AJ Brown is also, what is he? I think 27 years old.
Let me look it up. I think
he's
I think it's like his 6th or 7th season.
So it's his 5th season. He's 27 years old. So he's in the prime of his career. And then you got George Pickens that's just starting to blossom into his. So you got a few years there between the two. But I will touch. So your consensus is you wouldn't do the trade?
No, because I mean George Pickens has proved he can play with a Zach Wilson. He can still get yards. He can still go and get.
Pickens is for the Steelers.
Oh yeah, shoot. Sorry.
No, it's all good.
I'm looking right at him too. But at the same time too, I mean, who was I thinking? Oh, I'm thinking of what's his name from the Jets. But anyway,
Garrett Wilson.
I don't know why, but George Pickens. I mean,
it's all good.
He's going to be playing with Justin Fields. I don't know if Russell Wilson will come back next season.
I think the Steelers will bring Russell Wilson back. I think they'll extend him after this year because they're going to the playoffs. If he wins them a playoff game, do you
think they bring Mike Williams back too?
If there's no better options, if he'll take a veteran minimum deal or a team-friendly deal, absolutely. I mean, I don't know why they didn't use him last week. I mean, they brought him in for a reason, but apparently it wasn't for last week, I guess. But to elaborate off your point of the Eagles wide receivers and their confidence level and what you feel about them, it's not that I don't like the talent of the Eagles wide receivers. I actually feel that like Devonta Smith, AJ Brown are superior wide receivers to George Pickens. I think what hurts their value to me for fantasy and dynasty is their quarterback. You heard me go off on him about him last week. Yeah. And I think Jalen Hurts is the bane of Devonta Smith and AJ Brown's existence for fantasy value. So Scooby here, I think and I would personally, seeing the trajectory of where the Steelers offense is going, Pickens is AJ Brown is the alpha in his offense. That is true. And Pickens is the alpha in his. I feel if you were to do a 1-for-1 trade, I would be more apt to do that in Dynasty, or maybe another asset to go along. Not necessarily. It really depends on where that second is too. Like if it's mid to late, I still think that's a little about the same. But I personally, I would hold on to Pickens in the second because I like where that offense is going. Whereas, and the passing attack is where I'm getting at, like the quarterback and receiver. Where we're seeing this with the Eagles is now that they have Saquon Barkley, they are really wheels up and wanting to run the ball first. Like receiving options like Goddard haven't been as consistent as years past or as big play. And Devonta Smith being hurt, that's unfortunate. But also he's had more down and dipped weeks this year than he has in years past. And AJ Brown before this last week has been on a touchdown drought of sorts over there. So there's more volatility in Dynasty relying on the passing attack for the Eagles offense going forward, where I think the Steelers will have, if they retain Russ and Russ stays there, is going to be the best for George Pickens going forward. And holding on to that second pick would be ideal. I mean, if you really want AJ Brown to work a deal, I think maybe if you're going to have that second in the part of the deal, maybe adding like an ancillary, like other piece in there to even out and balance out the deal.
Mm.
But with how it stands now in a Dynasty Superflex, Scooby, I would personally hold on to Pickens in the second, because also Pickens is the younger talent too, so you got more years out of him.
Yeah, before I went on my rant talking about Garrett Wilson and the Jets, I don't know why I was talking Aaron Rodgers, but yeah,
no, you're all good, man. It's been a long
totally
day.
true though. And we got Pickens, he's ranked number 18, and AJ Brown's actually ranked number 22, so they're not too far apart. I mean,
yeah,
they've been
it's pretty close.
fairly similar. Yeah, they've been fairly similar these past couple of weeks.
But yeah, and I would also add to it though, if you're willing to give that, I mean, I personally wouldn't, but if you're willing to give that to get the guy you want, I say go for it. But you know, that's where I stand.
Then we got Nathan saying, you know, we live in a world where my Devontae Adams for Ladd McConkey trade got declined. Yeah, because Ladd McConkey is this year's Puka. And it's not even crazy because Malik Neighbors is this year's Puka. Or, you know, Brian Thomas Jr. is this year's Puka. There's all these receivers, man, besides Marvin Harrison, right, who's been very, very missed lately. But still right up there when they're hitting. Man, gosh. So many good receivers, and Ladd McConkey has been one of the better ones. Aside from his injury, I mean, he's been pretty consistent.
Well, with the emergence of the Chargers passing attack and Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey has been the highest benefactor to that passing attack. Justin Herbert has gotten comfortable with him. He's his go-to guy. He's his security blanket. He's his chain moving threat that he looks forward to on third down and beyond. And Devontae Adams, I feel like just got caught up in the blast zone of the New York Jets. That place is like a Chernobyl right now. Like, it's just, there's no good. It's not looking good, and that sucks for the pieces that you invested in with Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. I mean, until this saga ends, it's going to be tough sledding because there's not really a market for those players to trade any Jets right now. Just the optics of it, no one's really looking to acquire any of those players on that offense, on that team. It's just got a downward trajectory until, you know, their quarterback situation gets a little bit more better and more stable and consistent, which how many years have we been saying that with the Jets? They just are a quarterback away from getting things stabilized. So,
since the butt fumble, right?
Yeah, so it's unfortunate, with the emergence of Ladd, that it's just looking like you can't trade Devontae Adams really for anything right now.
Then he comes back. He's playing against Purdy and Juwan Jennings. So it's be 18 inches of snow in that game. Really hoping that Bills-Niners game is a run-heavy game. Could see a big James Cook.
I did not see the weather forecast, so that might actually change my kicker of the week.
Let's see.
It could be a big James Cook week, I would agree. If that's the case, I think passing the ball is not going to be a thing. Well, it could be. Josh Allen could still do it and whatnot, but those West Coast teams have a harder time playing in the cold, that's for sure.
Well, that's what they're used to. The
Dolphins always, when they come up from the Southeast this time of the year, that they have a harder time playing.
See what happened in that Chiefs game.
Yeah. I definitely could see a big James Cook week if that snow forecast is to be believed. Man, anyone going to that game, they're brave souls. That's dedication right there.
Man, I don't know how people do it. I was there for
that Steelers Browns game was pretty wild. How it started off fine, and then all of a sudden the snow just came out of nowhere.
It's that time of the year. Football. I love it. Right. That's what we live for, guys. That's what we do it for.
Yeah. To answer your question, Nathan, my kicker of the week was going to be Tyler Bass. But if the forecast is gonna say snow like that, I might have to we'll see here once we get to my team or whatever. How
I was gonna say, speaking of that, kicker of the week, why don't we do a promo really quick, and then when we come back, we'll touch on your team from week 12, and then we'll get into your week 13 team of the week. Cool.
Perfect. Works for me.
Heck yeah, guys. So yeah, we're gonna take a quick promo break, guys. We'll be right back on the other side. We'll be talking about Justin's team of the week. So, guys, tuning in. It's Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network. Don't forget to hit that like button and please share. Get it out to your friends. Tell them to get on here and get those questions in. We'll do another round of questions here too after the team of the week. So, yeah, we'll be right back, guys. Fantasy football fanatics, get ready to dominate your league. Tune into the Fantasy Football Reports every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. and Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We're breaking down injury updates, who to start or sit, trade strategies, and lineup advice to help you crush the competition. So don't miss the inside scoop. Find Fantasy Football Reports on your favorite social media platform, live on the Shady Sports Network. Your championship starts here. Yeah, man, your championship starts here.
Well, that's the story of my life. No respect. No respect.
So, yeah, guys, you're rocking with Fantasy Football Reports. Those of you just tuning in. Man, Nathan's just been rocking with us. Thanks for getting
Hell yeah, absolutely.
He has, Jake Bates, kicker of the
week. Yeah, welcome to the Bates Motel.
Yeah.
That's master to you.
Master debater. Cunning linguist. Yeah, so we were talking about, we got your team of the week, Maine. We got your team of the week from week 12 last week. So let me see. I think it's this right here. Yeah. Jared Goff, Rashad White, Brian Robinson Jr., Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith, and Jake Budd, Trey McBride, Juwan Jennings, Jason Sanders, and the Chicago Bears. Team of the week last week, they did pretty decent. Let's see. Go ahead.
I didn't get the actual points all tallied up. That was my bad.
That's okay. I was gonna pull it up right now and see. I'll try to add it up. So we got Jared Goff here, right? Let me go here. Get that guy going. So yeah, Jared Goff, he came in with 10.76 points.
Oof, that's rough.
Passing yards.
I was all in on him, but the Lions played an efficient game. They ran the ball so well that they didn't really need to put the game in Goff's hands.
He doesn't have, I don't know, he just doesn't have weeks like that, man, where it's just consistently like crushing it. And it's like one or the other. And that's how it's been all season, too. It's been, kind of, if he pops off, it's kind of not really popping off the next week. So I kind of expected that with Jared Goff, even though, we want him to be the guy, man. He looks really good. The Lions look really good, right? I think they probably look really good with a lot of quarterbacks back there. But his gumption does make him a great quarterback for that team, right? In my opinion. That's my opinion. I just don't think Jared, whatever. But Rashad White, let's see. We got Rashad White of Tampa Bay. Should have went with Bucky Irvin, but,
Yeah, well, I thought the game script was going to be more run and pound the ball, but it went the other way around, and it just shows the ceiling that Bucky Irving has. He's more versatile back, and the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and then Mike Evans came back too, so I think that had a lot to play in.
Yeah.
And then we got he had
no, you're good.
White. He had 11.7 points.
Okay.
37 rushing yards, 10 receiving yards. And he had a tutty, so he did get a touchdown. I think Bucky Irvin just got a few more carries than him in that game. And then Baker was cooking. Baker was running himself, so he took up a lot of the rushing.
He did his Tommy DeVito celebration.
Right. All right. Then we got Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah, he suffered the injury. He was in and out, and he didn't really do that well.
Yeah.
But it was all set up for him against the Cowboys. He should have had a bigger game, but the injury bug keeps nipping away.
Man, it is Yeah, it's something like maybe they need to think maybe a longer off season, or I don't know. If they're gonna shorten the preseason, then maybe I don't know.
I don't know what they do. They gotta do something.
But hey, we bounce back though. We get to your receivers. That's where the points come from, right? We got Puka, my man Puka. You can't go wrong if you're playing Puka. That's a must start, right? That's what you wanted Tyreek to be, right? So Puka came in with 20.7 points, 107. I'll say it again. 117 receiving yards on 9 receptions. This man was cooking. Because if you see, I mean, oh gosh, it's such a beautiful combo they do have with Puka and Cooper. But anyway, yeah, so he came in with 20.7 points, solid outing from Puka. Was it Jackson, Smith, and Jigba?
Yeah, JSN.
Yeah, 77 yards on 6 receptions and a tutty. I thought that was pretty decent. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the receiving touchdown really helped pad that stat line.
He also had 20.7 points.
Nice.
Yeah. So coming back, got your receivers bringing you back into it. And this, yeah. And I tell you, Trey McBride went off every time he's on the field.
Yeah.
Bro.
The Seahawks just have a perpetuates of just allowing tight ends to have big games against them. They just have a hard time defending tight ends. So,
yeah. So Trey McBride had 133 yards on 12 receptions, putting him at 25.3 points. If only he'd gotten a tutty in there.
that would have been nice.
That would have threw it over the edge, man. But yeah, Trey McBride always coming up big. All right, Juwan Jennings. Man, when I saw that Brock Purdy wasn't playing, that
yeah, and I would have pivoted out to somebody else, to be honest. Once my lineup was put in, I just left. So
who would you have pivoted out to?
I would have pivoted out to Nick Westbrook-Akine, NWI.
Okay.
Or I would have pivoted to who was I thinking of at the time? I don't remember.
I
knew one of them was Nick Westbrook-Akine. It was one of them, but
he had a tutty. He had a touchdown, 48 yards on 2 receptions. But yeah, I mean, Juwan Jennings was not a bad pick. I mean, he is clearly the number 1 over there in that San Francisco offense right now. As far as receivers go, and he just fell victim
to subpar quarterback play.
Correct. No Brock Purdy, huh? Isn't that right, Chip? My cat telling me I need to come correct if I'm going to come correct and talk about stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, he just fell victim to the really bad quarterback play. And then we got your kicker, Jason Sanders of the Dolphins.
Yeah, he had a 29-yarder and he had a 51-yard field goal. So
12 points.
Yeah, not bad. Anytime your kicker can get into double digits, it's a good day.
Yeah. And then last but not least.
Yeah, very disappointing. Very disappointing.
The Bears.
I shouldn't have relied on them. Every time, I try to give them a little bit of a leash, they pull right back out on me.
Hey, it just teaches you though, like you don't need the Bears in your life. Bringing you to 118.56 points.
Not bad.
Yeah, I mean over 100 for sure. Not triple digits is always good. And this, this is a team you live by and die by, quite honestly, though, if you think about it. Like, shoot, I mean, Jared Goff had 25 points last week. Brian Robinson Jr., when he's not hurt, he's getting over 100 yards and at least a half a touchdown, right? Your receivers kill it. Trey McBride, one of the better tight ends. Juwan Jennings, a solid flex who normally you're getting 15, 16, 11 to 16 points from. So yeah, this is a live by die by team. I feel confident fielding this team. It'd be interesting to see what they would do on a full season. For sure. So I mean, while it wasn't the better of teams, it wasn't the worst of teams either.
Yeah, I think the week I had before that was at 84 points.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I think it was like 70 or 80 points.
Yeah, so
and then I think you would have beaten me. And like my Yahoo league. Oh man, you would have demolished me in my Yahoo league. Let me see. I think I got 78. I got 76 points. So yeah, you would have definitely done me one good there. So yeah, that was your team of the week from week 12. Just to recap, I mean, I thought it's still a pretty solid team. Like I said, I feel pretty confident fielding that team. Jared Goff, you know, look at those receivers he got. How could you not start him? But moving on, we got your team of the week for week 13. Let's see. So yeah, we got your team of the week. Oh, and actually, before we move on, I pulled this up. I thought this was pretty crazy because it kind of it started out with the quarterback Jared Goff. So this is the sleepers.
Damn.
Week 12 worst fantasy team. And they had 21 points. Yeah, man. So at least you pulled yours together.
Yeah.
You know, you could have went down this route.
Could have had those guys.
Probably wouldn't have started Javonte Williams, right? I think we're in agreement. It's kind of I started Javonte Williams in my dynasty league, but I luckily had not this other team around him. I had a little better. But Christian Watson, you're thinking he's gonna be good, right? Like that's your thought, and Njoku, he's always been live by die by, no matter who the quarterback is.
Yeah.
Debo, yeah. So yeah, your Juwan Jennings doesn't seem so bad when you look at if you have Debo Samuel, you're probably starting him, right? Dang, yeah. So big difference.
That's rough.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I thought that was interesting to see. I like how they do that. That's a scary team. What's this? Nathan said, I think ROS, I'm just going to grab kickers playing and don't.
That's a smart strategy. I mean, I try to aim and do that way too because, it has an effect in it. And, it matters when they're playing inside. They don't have those elements. But, like, whenever you get a kicker like Justin Tucker or Harrison Butker or Chris Boswell, who are just elite outdoor kickers, they're also good safe options to do. But it's, good fantasy strategy to aim for dome kickers. Less worries and less liabilities, unless if the kicks are getting blocked or something.
But then you just have to really chase them, though, right? I guess they're not going to be in the dome every game. But yeah, I
don't even know who's been the best. I think the best dome kicker that's been so far this year has been who like.
I just think it's
I know Chris Boswell is the best kicker overall this year. But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, just because he's had to win games for his team, I don't know if it's necessary.
Well, he's also had like 20. He's had a couple 20-point games. I mean, probably Aubrey or Fairbairn.
I'd have to say probably Fair. Well, because I got Fairbairn. He's had a couple off weeks too. Not a couple. I think he had like one off week. Aubrey, I haven't really been.
Digger's a good one too. The Chargers kicker, he seems to be putting up points, but
shoot, Will Lutz, man.
He's an outdoor kicker.
Oh yeah,
we were talking about indoor kickers.
Too tired.
Rob Parker Romo, that's not a bad pick. I think could be a potential shootout over there with the Cardinals and the Vikings.
I think
6% roster.
The Cardinals team, they tend to play up to their competition.
Yeah. So it'll be fun to see how that game goes. I think that one will be on the TV this week because the Lions are playing Thursday, so Sunday should be Vikings on the television.
Nice.
Hopefully not the Bears. They suck.
He says he's 6% roster. He's 4% roster than my sleeper.
Oh, wow.
Sleeper.
Well, I think also, too, what happened that a lot of people rostered that Will Reichard guy, but he got hurt, and so people are probably just late to the party and picking him up.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I don't know. I'll stream a kicker every week. I don't care. But yeah, no, we got your team of the week, guys. Keep those questions in. We'll get back.
Yeah, we got another one.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll do this one really quick. Then we'll get to
Triggs. Welcome to the show.
Hey, don't forget to hit that like button, man. And please share. But yeah, Break says bench 1. Kyron, Hall, Malik, Adams, Nico, Chase, Brown. I'm probably doing Brees Hall.
Bench and Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Who are they playing this? Who are the Jets playing?
They're playing the damn, I feel like I'm just looking at it. They're playing hold on, I can tell you.
Loading, please wait.
Yes, y'all. I thought I could tell you. They are here we go. They're playing Seattle.
Playing Seattle.
Yeah.
No, I'm not benching Brees. I'm not benching Brees.
What? Oh, it says, hey, Triggs got it before me. Yeah.
Thanks, Triggs. Yeah, he got you. He's got it. He knows his stuff.
Hey, take it over. I'll give you that. No, but no, they're playing Seattle. Then who would you bench then? Well, Malik probably, right? Malik Neighbors, since he was just complaining. Oh, probably Devontae Adams. Actually, now that I look deeper into this, I'm benching Devontae Adams, right? Because you're playing Nico. You're definitely playing Nico. You just got him back.
And you playing Nico? How did Nico do last week?
He smashed. That's what I did. I traded him away for AJ Brown and Jonathan Taylor.
But how did Nico do last week?
He smashed. He
smashed.
He had 21.2 points. He had 92 receiving yards, 140 plus.
Oh wow! It baffles me because like I've been seeing here, like Stroud has just not been playing as good as we're used to seeing lately.
Nico wasn't back, and Nico is back.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna see.
Stroud I'm benching Adams. Yeah, that quarterback situation there in New York is. I don't know what Rodgers you're gonna get, and I don't feel comfortable. I mean, typically I'd love to start Adams. I'd rock him, but like that Rodgers situation is dicey. And I don't think any of the Cardinals wide receivers last week did well against the Seattle defense. And I think they're playing in Seattle too.
I think so. It's at Seattle. What about Kyron Williams though? I feel like he hasn't.
Oh, he's a volume play. It's his backfield to lose. I mean, they're playing New Orleans this weekend. New Orleans is a bit of a tougher challenge, but I think it's a get-right game for the Rams. They come off with a hard loss against the Eagles, get blown out of their own building. I think they come back and they run the ball, throw it with Stafford, and Kyron should have a bounce-back game. Hall, I think he should have like a ho-hum game because the Jets can't really throw the ball right now. So I would bench Adams. I mean, he's the lesser of that handful there.
That's how I feel too. I'd bench Adams. All right, keeping it moving. We got
on Twitch. Yes, guys. Come view us on Twitch over there.
Yeah, is this our first Twitch comment?
I think it is. Marky, your first Twitch question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You win the prize of being the first Twitch.
You get a seat on the bus.
Answer. Woo! Hop on the bus. We're swerving now. We're swerving. Who to start? Travis Kelce, Brock Bowers, or Noah Gray? And Noah Gray, I've been low. I played Noah Gray like 2 games because I had to. But
did he just blow his load and he's gonna fall second fiddle now to Travis Kelce? Because you know who they're playing this weekend, right?
They're playing the Chargers. No, they're playing the Raiders, right?
And who owns the Raiders?
Who?
Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Oh.
I think out of these ones, though, I think I'm starting Brock Bowers.
Ooh. Yeah, he's not getting shut down this week, right?
No, I don't think so. I think they that offense runs through Brock Bowers this week with the running back situations the way it is. Like I mentioned, the injury update. There was I'm not like whoever's quarterback in the Raiders, I feel is gonna, if they're smart, you get the ball to this man because he's a baller. And as far as the Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, they're both good options here, but I feel like they're capping each other's value out because they're both playing relatively well. And I think the ceiling with a negative game script for the Raiders have to play from behind, score points, and throw the ball, get as many opportunities as they can on offense. I'm going with Brock Bowers out of the 3.
Hey, there we go. Yeah.
Where are you going? You trusted Noah Gray
I'm
for another
going
week?
Kelsey, man. No, I'm going Travis Kelsey. Can't
All right.
deny him until he's out. He's still it's his to lose. I'm going Travis Kelsey. And plus
All right.
Taylor Swift will probably be there. So who knows? It's that was just a weird game against Carolina. But it's at home against Vegas. I mean, Taylor Swift will be there. I think, Kelsey's probably going to get like 2 touchdowns, 120 yards.
I can see Brock doing about the same.
They got Kelsey. They got forecasted to do 5 point, so over 5 receptions, around 50 yards, maybe a touchdown. So I think he'll crush that. I think he'll go above and beyond. He'll get back on track. He's not ready to go out yet, so I'd rock with Kelsey if I got him.
You heard it here first, Marky. You got Brock or Kelsey. Those are the two we're going with here on the bandwagon.
Hey, Mike Bailey,
whichever way you
homie.
Yeah.
Let's see. So we got Nathan. Back to Nathan. Sorry to bring up the first question.
Nah, it's all good. We'll take second questions. We'll take third. We'll take fourth. We love your guys' engagement. We love your questions.
Not 3.
We love you providing for this show and being a part of it. We're doing part of this for you guys. We love you guys. So thank you.
Yes, y'all. You don't stop.
So the question
is there a world where you start Devon Vele over Judy Pittman?
Ooh.
I mean, or Odunze. I mean, him and Bo Nix.
I haven't watched. I think I've only watched a couple Broncos this game start to finish. It was that Broncos versus Chargers game a couple weeks back, and this last one against the Raiders. And I'm impressed by Vele, man. But he's a big body, possessive wide receiver, and I think Bo Nix is really forming a chemistry with him more so than Troy Franklin. Way more weird. Franklin. I think if he's not looking Cortland Sutton's way, I think honestly Vele is his number 2 option. He's not looking at the tight ends.
Hey, Vele is not old as hell. He's 27. He took a year. What did he take? 1 year off?
He took 1 year off on a mission trip for whatever. But I don't know if you guys watched the game. I maybe I'm seeing it differently, but from what I was impressed with what I saw of Vele. So
but I mean, I would probably look at Sutton as any receiver to grab from the Broncos room. Vele, it's not really enough points. I mean, it's consistent, but it's like flex status.
Well, in the context of Nathan's questions, I'd probably, now that I didn't know he had as an op, I'd probably do Judy and Vele over Pittman and Odunze.
I could see that just because of Pittman. I mean, who's the quarterback? Same thing with Odunze. Like, what's going to happen?
Like, I just, like, Nathan put up some good points earlier about Odunze just missing opportunities with Caleb and being too many mouths to feed with Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, and DJ Moore still there too. He's got more competition for targets. And then with Pittman, it's just what Anthony Richardson you're going to get. He was, doing as best as he can out there, even though AR favors him over Downs.
I was going to say, I mean, it seems like Anthony Richardson does like
the whole
Pittman.
Christian Gonzalez situation there kind of caps his value. So I would roll, honestly, with the Monday Night Miracle. I'd go hope for it to be a shootout, and I'm going Vele Judy.
I don't know, man. And I feel like you're gonna be mad.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. And
where are you?
What's that?
Where are you leaning? You still rocking Judy Odunze or?
No, I'd probably go Vele Judy too.
Yeah,
I can see that. Out of those 4, Odunze is. I mean, let me see what he's done. I mean, he is enticing.
I will say Odunze most likely has the higher potential ceiling than Vele, but I think Vele in their matchups, I think
maybe he does.
I think Vele has a safer floor.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think maybe because especially with that turnaround from in the beginning of the season, it seemed like Odunze was looking better with Caleb Williams, but now that Bo Nix Vele connection is it's looking good. It's looking good. what did he say? Having to see, and that's the thing on a Monday night. I don't like players on Monday night.
I do. I love it. I love
having
Monday
to
Night
depend
Miracle. I love rolling them dice. I love
I'll
it.
take a quarterback. I'll take a quarterback on Monday night. I'll take a running back.
I'd rather
on Monday night.
lose my matchup on Monday night than lose it on Thursday night.
Oh man, that's what happened to me last week in another league.
Don't you hate that though? You go into Thursday night and you either get duds from your
Mhm.
players and like, nah, I have no other like that just happened.
Yeah, I like Monday night.
Yeah, see, hate Thursday. I mean, I'll still play Thursday players. Like I'll play Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'll play my Montgomery. I'll play these players. But like, I feel less bad about my loss if I took it to the last game in the last possible minute of the week with a Monday Night Miracle than a Thursday Night Throwdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got a couple more questions here, Seth. Triggs got another one.
Oh, did I skip Triggs? Let me get back to it.
Yeah, it's a trade one.
Oh shoot, y'all got him coming in. I'm missing him. Let's go. That's what I like. So Triggs wants to package Malik Neighbors, Devontae Adams, and Jacoby Myers or Waddle for a stud. I mean, Waddle is your stud. Myers looked like a stud last week, right? He was going off. Giant overplay.
So listen, in the context of the question, said you're trying to trade these players to get.
He wants a package for
who are you targeting for these players?
No one, because I got Waddle, man. I'm just gonna play with what I got. But I guess if I were to look for someone, and it feels like he's looking for a receiver, I guess you could try, because who's gonna give up their stud? Who are you gonna? Maybe Puka, maybe with all of that, I mean, I guess Jamar Chase, right? Justin Jefferson had kind of a dud last week, so I don't think you need to give away all of that for maybe.
No, I would do it. I'll tell you right now, Triggs. I would do Malik, and I'll do Waddle, and I'll even throw in Jacoby Myers to go after Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Those are the two.
Jamar Chase for sure.
And I even throw in a third. I think if I do Malik, Myers, and Waddle, I would, depending on the quarterback situation for next year or whatever, CD Lamb, think it gets the deal done.
Maybe that would hurt though if it's kind of the same quarterback situation and he's like the same.
That's the more so it's tiers: Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and then CD. This is the way I do it. But those are the. But I don't know if anyone realistically is going to want to give up those guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if people would be like, oh, yeah, maybe I would. Probably an AJ Brown, Nico Collins.
I mean, if he packages all four of them, I think he can get the deal done. But 3 out of the 4, it might be, I think you could go for one of those first rounder wide receivers. I mean,
yeah, but
see how people are feeling about
receivers. Who's your other receiver though? Is that all your receivers, Triggs? That sounds like it's all your receivers. I
mean, I would see if you could go after an Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Like Nathan says, maybe offer 2 of them and see. Yeah, don't include Waddle, especially with him going off. Myers, man.
No, include Waddle.
See how he looks with Aiden. Waddle is not trash.
He's garbage.
He has like 40 points the past 2 weeks, over 40 points.
What has he done before that?
Well, because you had Tyreek Hill there, and now he's taking over. He's doing what he's doing now, right?
You all can have him. He's garbage. You heard it from me here first. Jalen Waddle he's a glad bag.
We got Marky, best player to trade and get in the Dynasty League. I don't understand what that means. What do you mean? The best player overall?
You're welcome, Triggs, for the question. You're welcome. Hopefully we helped you out.
Yeah. Yeah, Triggs.
What did Nathan say? I want to play it. Don't own value yet, but have 6.
Yeah.
We gotta play catch up here. Oh.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so my best player to trade to get in a Dynasty League.
Yeah, who's your best player to trade to get in the Dynasty League? In a Dynasty League, Saquon Barkley. I don't know.
If I'm in a Dynasty League, based off how things are looking right now, I'm trying to get a CD Lamb, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson,
Gibbs.
some of these stud superstar players on offenses that are stagnating and bottoming out and plateauing out when they're at like their low point of value at this moment because there's so many question marks going into next year of their offense on their respective teams. So those are some of the few I'm targeting. I mean, of young talent, because it's dynasty, you want to go on the younger side of it too. A couple other ones, if people are not all in on or into Jamison Williams, he's a good young talent.
I was saying Gibbs.
Something like that. Those that's a good target too. So, but they're also on offenses that are flowing right now. They're producing points, scoring big, so there's a higher price tag on them. So I would try and see maybe with those, those three I mentioned, and see if the price tag's a little bit lower due to lack of production and just question marks going into the offseason and how their offense is going to look like for next year and beyond.
Heck, I mean, in this situation in Dynasty, I would be looking at Broncos receivers then. Looking at like Bailey. I'd be looking into like maybe trying to pocket Estime. I mean,
if you can, Bo Nix, maybe
probably not anymore though. By how good he's been playing, but I would definitely try to get Bo Nix.
The key with investing in Dynasty, what you want to do is take advantage of the market, find players that are on teams that are struggling at the moment, but they have high ceilings and high potential and relatively young. I can't think of like all the other lists of players in my head that could be potential options, but those are some of the ones that are at the top of my list that I'm looking for as far as like just having it stashed away. That at the beginning of the season I probably was like overpaying or having to spend a lot on them, that right now I could probably spend a reasonable amount and be okay with what I get in return.
Nico Collins for sure.
Nico's a good one. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a good one.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is a good one. He also has Nico, but he has Hall, Kyron, and Chase Brown. Those are all.
I agree, Triggs. Yeah.
That's pretty solid. Yo, let's go take a promo and then we'll get back to your team of the week, man.
Yeah.
Get on that. So let's jump to this promo real quick. And guys, you're watching Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports or Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network. Don't forget to hit that like button.
Before we get to promo though, here's a good one because he's had a low production, and you mentioned him earlier, Marky. Someone to invest in Dynasty would, if you can right now, just based on performance, Marvin Harrison Jr.
MHJ.
If you can somehow get him at a lower price right now is a good time to try to peak your investment and see what you can get for him. If it's not,
what about I guess if we're looking at younger players too, though. Well,
but you also look at ones that are doing a little bit down, like comparative expectations at the beginning of the season. So maybe you can get them at a little bit of a value based off what's going on so far. But let's get to a promo, and we'll come back right at it with the rest of some more questions and team of the week.
That's the story of my life. No respect. No respect.
Yeah, we'll be right back, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button. Mike Bailey, thanks for the love, bro. And share, guys.
Absolutely, I love. Did you see his team he drafted here, real quick? I know we gotta get to the promo, but this is pretty stacked.
We'll hit it on the other side. We'll be right back.
Okay. You were good.
How are you? Bring them things. I call the plug. Bring them things. That's money. That's cash out.
Forever you and me, right by my side, where you ought to be. 'Cause if I ever were to lose you, I just don't know what I'd do. Let me hear you now.
Man, that Manscaped promo is freaking hilarious. Sucks we don't. Whatever. Guys, you watch Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network. Thanks for rocking with us. Those of you just tuning in, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that love button, and subscribe. And please share too. I'm your bus driver, Cedric Green. He's the co-pilot, Justin T. Justin, you're saying, we have somebody's team of the week. Let's see. Marky's team over in
this is where he drafted in Dynasty. That's a solid team there.
That's a super solid team. He drafted. Good thing. Hold on. First off, let me pull this up.
Yeah.
He said, good thing I drafted Bucky, Brock Bowers, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Amon-Ra, Seedy, and
Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's a solid foundation for a dynasty push. Like that is a great.
That's a
team.
really good dynasty team.
That's a really great team
How'd you get
for the next 5 years.
How'd you get Brock Bowers, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix?
Because he's smart. He's doing it right. He's taking advantage of his league mates. They're leaving them players on the board, and he's like, I'll take that, and I'll take that, and I'll take that.
You know what, Marky? You need to join our sleeper league.
Hey, why don't you put a promo? Tell where people can find it. If they're looking, we have 6 spots left remaining in our fantasy football league for the Bandwagon Show. You can catch it over there on Sleeper. The link is in the description, and it should be on our Facebook group and in the I don't know where else it would be. That's kind of your department.
Yeah. So and I do need to get a promo for that, but yeah, it's in the description. And you can go and actually click on it too. And if you guys are into basketball link's right there too. So like at the top of the description, you'll see the link for the football, the fantasy football league. We'll be starting that up next season. Right now it's a 10-team league, but hey, if we grow it out, we'll grow it out. I think 10 is a pretty solid number, but I mean,
that's where we're starting now. I mean, we still have to work out the league like settings, format, and all that stuff. We're just trying to get guys together. We'll start a league. We'll get that rolling for next year. We'll work out all the details in the off season.
Yep, we'll get there and get it right. But check in the description and click on that league and join it, man. I
mean, most importantly, it is a redraft league, so don't feel obligated. You have to stay for multiple years if you're not able to. It's a redraft league, so each year teams will be, redrafted.
Yep. Hopefully you want to stay, but yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you want to stay, but we're not going to hold you hostage.
Yeah, maybe we'll start a dynasty league somewhere else too. Get that going. But
this man's cooking.
Jameson Williams. What's a good trade for Jameson Williams or Nico Collins? I would probably go for Nico Collins over Jameson Williams. I know you're a bit biased over there, Justin, but
if I could, I would. Wait, what?
I'm trading Caleb Williams away, getting Nico.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I try to keep bias out of it, but like with Bears, but like I see Caleb Williams' talent. He's your highest value asset, one of the highest you have right now on your dynasty team. I would try to. I mean,
would you trade away? Njigba?
I would. Out of this group that you have here, I'd see if you could swap CD for Nico.
I would, yeah. I'd do that for sure. Like that. Like a heartbeat. Let's see. Little John, what do you think about that?
Yeah.
Little John.
I mean, it really depends on how the person who has Jameson Williams feels about him. But if you could probably try to move a
CD was his first round pick though, so
that's the thing.
But you got Amon-Ra, you got Caleb and CD Williams.
But I mean, in a world I could do CD for Nico straight up. Otherwise, I could see if I could do if they're the same owner, the Jameson Williams and Nico Collins owner, maybe throwing CD and Coleman for Nico and Jameson.
Ooh.
But I see that's a tricky thing about trades too. Without context, you don't know how those owners of Nico Collins and Jameson Williams feels about their player.
especially this late in the season. I'm not.
Yeah,
I mean,
if they overvalue them, undervalue them. I feel like you could get any of those guys with the late first of one of the players you have. I mean, that might be an overspending. Like if you go mid second for next year and one of those players, you could probably come away with at least one or both of them.
I don't know if I trade away Nico Collins for a pick.
No, he's looking to obtain Jamison Williams or Nico Collins.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if I'm the owner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it all depends on.
If I'm the owner of Jamison Williams, maybe just because I don't know
I could see him be more attainable.
Get in trouble again or not. Yeah. God, we're cooking tonight, man. But yeah, I mean, I guess
look at with gas.
Gas, we're swerving, guys. We're rolling.
I love it. You guys are awesome. Everyone tonight.
What was that? What was that Keanu Reeves movie?
Speed.
Bus. Yeah. We can't go below 60 miles an hour on this bus right now. We might be below, guys. So keep it coming in.
So Marky, in short, I would if I'm trying to go for the big hit with Nico, I would try to see if I could do JSN and a second or late first for Nico Collins. And then for Jamison Williams, I see if you could somehow, if they want picks, maybe like Keon Coleman in a second. But that's where I'd go with it as far as trying to acquire those two guys. If they're different owners, if they're the same one, then you're going to have to work an elaborate package. Oh, Marky's interested in joining. Do you have the link up there?
I'm about to post it up here.
I mean, if you are also in our Facebook group on Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports, there should be there too, Marky. Otherwise, bus driver here is working on it right now, getting it up and live. Yeah, we'd love to have you in the league. You seem like a very good football mind yourself.
Right. Especially since you got Bo Nix on your team.
Yeah, Seth will love you for that one. I love that you have Amon Ra.
I do.
Praise be to the sun god.
See? I know. Trying to pluck it out.
If you I think we have another question from CD Smitty too. If you want to get that up, I can start answering it. While you work on that, I can answer it for him.
There we go.
Okay. CD, thank you for asking your question and submitting. And should I use my waiver priority on Jalen Warren, Keenan Allen, or Jordan Addison? Also, is it time to drop Jonathan Brooks or Cedric Tillman? Part one, I would do in order for priority on my waiver wire: Jordan Addison, Jalen Warren, Keenan Allen, in that order. I would put in 3 priorities. You're going to get one of the 3, but I would do Jordan Addison first, Jalen Warren second, Keenan Allen third. All 3 of those are good waiver wire targets to spend your priority on. That's just particularly the order I'd go in. Second part of your question, I would not drop Jonathan Brooks. He hasn't shown enough yet. He's coming off a serious injury from college. Give him some time. Let's see how the rest of the season he goes and how the Panthers implement him gradually into their offense. I still see a lot of potential for him. He hasn't really done anything to devalue himself, and he hasn't had enough of an opportunity to really showcase his talents here in the NFL. So if I had to drop one of those 2 guys, it'd be Cedric Tillman, not just because of the injury that he sustained. That's unfortunate, but typically with Browns offensive players, I don't really have that much faith or trust in, just because historically their passing attack has been suspect and not so consistent, reliable to throw into your lineups. So, and I don't see where they go with Tillman into next year in their quarterback situation. So for dynasty long-term value, I value Jonathan Brooks over Cedric Tillman. And in redraft too, I still value Brooks over Tillman. So I'm dropping Tillman out of those 2 players. Thank you for the question, Speedy. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, I think I got it. Give me 1 second. Oh, why can't I comment on here? Oh, there we go.
And then Marky, as far as Jordan Addison, is he a good someone good for dynasty? it depends on what you having to invest in him to like get him off of a team. I mean, I wouldn't do anything that more than a mid to late second and maybe a wide receiver 2 that you're disappointed with on your roster, or another player at another position that's got still some relative youth, but also has been, not as a long-term value for you in your league. I would definitely try to get Addison if I get him, especially if the Vikings quarterback situation stays as well as it is, because they're able to feed multiple targets in that offense. Jefferson's feeding, Hawkinson's feeding, Naylor's getting some targets too, and Addison's having his big plays and now able to produce at a consistent, not a consistent, but like at a more, expected rate. So yeah, definitely if it's affordable, go after Addison. If he's available somehow on waivers, definitely throw a priority and some fab on him to get him. He's definitely a good asset to have on your roster.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Marky, for the compliment. I really appreciate it. I really do. That's very kind of you. We're going to keep doing our best here over at the bandwagon.
Hey, we try to do what we do when we do it every time, right? And we got this bus rolling, guys. Hey, you're rocking with us a special Turkey Day episode for you guys. We missed Sunday, so we're just bringing you twice as much information tonight. And keep those questions going, man.
Yeah, I won't be doing the voice channel over there on Discord this Thursday. It's Turkey Day, so I'll be doing my family stuff. So hopefully at one of these weeks coming up, I'll get in there and do the voice channel and hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
Answering some more fancy questions, watching the game, enjoying it, and just, talking football and shooting the shit like a bunch of cool people hanging out, enjoying our things we like.
Yeah, right. Hey, so we got your team of the week, Justin. Let's get to it.
Yeah.
Week 13. Here, let me get this question out of the way. And yeah, hey, Marky, thank you, especially for coming from Twitch. Bring some more people with you.
Yes. We're trying to expand over there to Twitch too. It's a little bit harder to post things on there. It's not as we're not fluent in that platform yet, but we're getting there.
We're getting there. Oh, it says you don't have permission to join. Are you on Sleeper? Did you download the Sleeper app?
Yeah, it should be on the Sleeper app. I do have it invite. So
should we set it to open?
Well, then anybody can, then it's like a Wild West free for all.
True.
I think it's because you have to be friends with either Sed or I on Sleeper, and then we send at and you can find me on, for anybody who wants to join the league. There's 6 spots left. It's a redraft fantasy football league. We'll be going through it next year for the show league, and you can find me at Teixeira on Sleeper, and I think you're at Green Said on Sleeper. Find one or both of us, add us, and we can get you invited into the league to join, to be a part of it in one of those 6 remaining spots left. Yeah, so I just remember that's the caveat to Sleeper, is you have to befriend people in a league before joining a league if it's not open, because right now it's not open to the public. It's by invite. So Sorry for the confusion there.
All right. So, and I put those up in the chats, guys, on all the different channels. Okay. So yeah, just add us, Marky, and then we'll get you in the league.
And that's for everybody. Anybody who wants to join, if you got the Sleeper app, add us. Say you watch the show, you want to join in the fantasy league, we'll get you the invite over and get you into the league.
And then we'll get back to round 2. So Nathan, we got you. I promise you. We got you. But we're gonna get into this week 13 team of the week. We got to keep this bus on track at least a little bit. I know we're getting wild, guys. We're getting wild, but we got to keep it going. So yeah, Justin, let's touch on your. And I kind of, Patty Mahomes, and I didn't want to like him, but he
owns the Raiders. Yeah. And I'm just, if there's 1 week, I'm going to roll Patrick Mahomes. He's been disappointing for most of the season. He showed some promise. Granted, I know it's the Panthers last week, but the Panthers play with some fight. They play with some grit, and they gave an honest matchup out of the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes got a few touchdowns. He showed he's capable of performing at a high level, like we all know him as. So, and history is, the storyteller here, and he historically owns the Raiders. He's like Aaron Rodgers to the Bears. It's just, I'm rolling with Patrick Mahomes. I have faith that he's just gonna, and this will help out the Broncos by, well, not so much. If the Raiders lose, you want the Raiders to win. But regardless, whatever, fantasy purposes wise, I'm rolling out Patrick Mahomes. All of his receiving options to have a good day following with him, and I'm confident in firing him up in my lineups.
There we go. I like it. He helped me out big last week. All right. Then we got we got your running back. You got a squad this week looking at.
Hey, I'm putting the crown on. I'm going for the win. I mean, but honestly, this is still a team that you could probably have drafted or acquired through trade somehow. It's not a full superstar cast of a super team. Mm-hmm. There's still some pieces here that, are pretty like team roster build. I try to be as balanced as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like we've been talking about.
I feel like you could have drafted Derrick Henry as your first overall pick and then taken Mahomes in the second or third round and Cooper Kupp in the fourth and, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jonnu
But
Smith.
yeah, I think Derrick Henry is going to show Saquon Barkley why he is king. He is going to outperform Saquon Barkley and the Eagles. I think he's going to take over that backfield and he's going to have a monster game versus the Eagles.
There we go.
That's why I have him there in my one spot.
Okay. I'm always down for King Henry, man. I love it. I love it.
So it's a top heavy lineup so far this week. Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, those are going to be your anchor. Those are going to be the guys, trying to stabilize and giving you a good solid floor for your week.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Chubb versus the Broncos. I like what I saw from Nick Chubb last week against the Steelers in the inclement weather. He's not all the way back there yet, but I feel like, he's going to get volume and opportunity there with the Browns, and he's looking good. He's like a hopeful pick here. I put him like he could give you, a touchdown, a goal line score here, and probably about 60 to 100 yards. And you won't see any passing work, but he'd be a solid volume play here.
Mm. Okay.
And then first wide, I went Cooper Kupp versus Saints. I feel that it's going to be some sort of a shootout. The Saints are going to have to, put up points to keep up with the Rams, and I think Stafford and those guys will brush off the dirt of last week off and get Cooper Kupp going again, keeping his streak going of touchdowns, and he'll have a good game against the Saints down there in New Orleans. And then we talked about him earlier, Jordan Addison. I fired him up in my second wide receiver spot. I feel like the Cardinals game, that it's going to be a must-win for the Cardinals, and the Vikings have to keep up with the Lions, so they're going to have to put up points. And I think both quarterbacks will showcase their abilities. And while their number ones are getting shadowed by the top corners and getting some help, I feel like Jordan Addison can really find the holes in the defense and expose some flaws and punish them for it. He did it last week against the Bears, and that's a pretty formidable pass defense. So I'm confident in firing Jordan Addison up in my second wide receiver spot against the Cardinals, especially playing at home helps. My tight end this week, man, this man's on a heater, and he's kind of the reason why Tyreek Hill is kind of in the rut he's in, because this guy's emerging. Jonnu Smith against the Packers. Tua is going to have to throw the ball to keep up with the Packers. That it's most likely going to be, I'm projecting it to be a score fest, probably like a 40-point over-under. And Jonnu Smith, he's on fire. I mean, he's on a heat check. He's had 2 big games these last 2 weeks. He's coming off multiple touchdowns, and I think he keeps the thing rolling against the Packers. And we talked about him here too tonight. My flex, Jamison Williams versus the Bears. I think he's going to be the X factor. He's going to, find big play and have that explosive play to blow off the top of the Bears defense and really have himself a ball of a game. I think in your flex spot, he's going to be a really good stabilizer there for some points. Then Nathan helped bring this to my attention. I got Tyler Bass against the Niners, but it might not be so confident of a play if it's going to be 18 inches of snow. It's going to be hard to kick the football, but we'll rock with it. I feel like, right now the Niners aren't as a stout of a defense as they are been in the past, but they're still a bend don't break defense, so it could stall out some drives for the Bills, and Bass could get, if
Plus,
weather permitting, field goal or two. So
plus that's his territory, right? That's his steez.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Is in Buffalo. You better be able to kick in the snow. You play in Buffalo, right?
Yeah. So I feel I rock with it. I feel like, it'll be good, healthy opportunities for him.
There you go.
And then, my defense, I just taking advantage of the turmoil that is the Giants right now. I mean, they're a hapless team. Their offense is running through Malik Neighbors. Tyrone Tracy's fumbling the ball. Singletary's picking up the scraps, but there's nothing that shows me with Tommy DeVito that this is going to be a high scoring game for the Giants. So there won't be many points scored, I don't think, on the Giants end of it. So that'll help with the Cowboys defense. And they're coming back healthier. Trayvon Diggs should be back this week, which helps in the passing game that contain Malik Neighbors. And I think they'll get plenty of pressure on Tommy DeVito and the Giants. That their defensive lineup against the O-line of the Giants is just superior. So, and what better day to do it on Turkey Day? It's just they're going to feast. They're going to eat Giants.
We'll see. I mean, hey, you don't got no faith in Danny DeVito, man? I mean, Tommy DeVito, man?
I just don't see it happening this week. But that's just me. That's my team. Let me know what you think. How you feel about it. It is what it is. Hopefully I can usurp my points total from my last week's team. But overall, I think it's a good, well-rounded group of bunch that could do some damage in most lineups if you got these guys.
And I think you're creeping up. Your trajectory is going upward, right? You were in the 80s in the first, time we kept scoring. Then you made it over into triple digits this week. So I think this team is going to be the team to push you up in that upward 150, 160 range, kind of really competing and starting to flex some muscles. I like this team. I like this team, man. I won't lie. Looking up and down, and I would be, I would start this team in a heartbeat, and I wouldn't think twice about it. So it is going to be interesting to see how it turns out. Yeah, we got quite a bit of comments. Oh, yeah. Looks like Marky sent that over. Needs us to add him. We got you, Marky. We'll get in.
I've added him. I just have not gotten into the...
Oh, yeah. Well, we got you. We got you. We're moving along, though. Yeah, kind of. All right. So, here we go. And Nathan said this is for this next week, not this week. But yeah, Jaden Daniels and Terry will both be on buys with limited flex options. Going to pick up Will Levis for next week, but after looking at his stats, might try to get Westbrook and Kine.
Westbrook and Kine. I like that idea. Go for it. Yeah. I didn't realize that the Commanders were one of the few teams left that haven't had a bye already. But I like that. Definitely. I would. Sorry, it took us a little bit to get to your question, but we got here. And I say definitely go for it. Those are good options. And I think the rest of the season schedule for the Titans is kind of friendly. I mean, I think a lot of green light matchups for Akine, and if Levis keeps producing at the rate he's doing, he's a serviceable backup until you get Jaden Daniels back after the bye.
Let's see. Titans for the rest of the season. So, and they had a pretty solid outing against, anyway, Titans playing, they're playing the Commanders, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Colts, Jacksonville, Houston. So AFC South, roundabout with the Bengals sprinkled in there, and then the Commanders this week, of course. So, I think that's a pretty easy, not easy,
Mm-hmm.
but that's a pretty.
Yeah, and Westbrook is, taking advantage of a lot of big plays, and he's showing he's capable of having some performances that are worthy of putting him in your roster.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, add us on that Sleeper app. Go ahead to download the Sleeper Fantasy app. If you haven't downloaded, check out the link in the comments. Just click it; it'll take you there. And then just add us as friends, and we'll get you in there.
Hey, Shannon. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Shannon. And LinkedIn. There we go. I love it.
I like it.
Yeah. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hey, guys. Hey, keep it coming. We're rolling again.
And Austin, welcome back. I know it's already taking a little bit to get to you, but happy you're back with us. We love you, bud.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather have Herbert and Henry.
Herbert and Henry. Yeah. Herbert and Henry. I second that for sure. Let's see.
I like that combo better. Less, big solid, King Henry. He's like the best part of those 4 running backs. So any side of the deal he's on, I'd go for.
Definitely. Like and then Herbert too. I mean, like you said that
wait a second. He also said that he would be receiving Allen and Henry for Herbert and Achane.
Oh.
Yeah, I would do that. I would do for sure. Like I said, the side that Henry's on, that's the side I want to be on.
Oh, because he said Achane. So would it be Achane R. Allen and then Herbert R. Henry? Or I'm confused. Oh, yeah. But either way, he said it would get if he's receiving Allen and Henry. I would yes. I think that's just kind of a good amount of points between Josh Allen and Derrick Henry, right? Over Achane and her, and plus Achane has Mostert is still there. Herbert has been picking up. Yeah. I like Allen and Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Shannon likes it too. Let's go.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Nathan. Titans got a very friendly wide receiver schedule. Even Ridley would be a good, if he's attainable, add before deadlines if you still have trades being available to you.
Dang.
But Nathan also brings a good question up for us too. Is which defenses are you favoring for the rest of the season with their schedules and whatnot?
Broncos. Minnesota. Yeah, Broncos, Minnesota. Shoot, I'd probably stream the Cowboys again, like you said this week. I got no problem with the Lions.
Yeah, because I don't have the schedules in front of me, but I know personally the one I'm sneakily looking at that is probably widely available for streaming is the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. Well, I would say yeah, but only no.
They got New England and Carolina for the first round and semifinals of the playoffs.
And they did pretty good against Caleb Williams, the rookie. They did pretty good against Aaron Rodgers being a vet. They did pretty good against Geno Smith being the unwritten one. I
think there's a sneaky, highly available defense for.
And aren't the Cardinals number 1 in that division right now? Who's number 1 in that division?
I think they were. I don't know. After this week's game, it might be the Seahawks now.
Oh yeah, no, I think the 49. Dang, that division is so weird.
And we got another question here. Said
we got all the questions.
Ray.
Where's Ray?
Thank you for your question, Ray. Happy to have you here. Feel free to smash that like button, subscribe, follow us, and join us on our other platforms that we are rocking here in our Facebook group.
Yeah, so Ray comes out
of Facebook group. We'll keep this stuff going even when we're not live. So feel free to drop all your stuff, questions in there, comments, chat in there with us, and we'll answer you off of that throughout the week.
Yeah. So yeah, Ray Ray says, do I trade away Tyreek, Jaden Reed, and Jonu Smith for Malik Neighbors and Ramondre Stevenson? No.
You
I have
wouldn't?
Kittle, Cooper, Kupp, Juwan Jennings. I would trade away Juwan Jennings.
I would do the deal, Ray Ray. I would.
You would do it?
I would trade Tyreek, Jaden Reed, and Jonu Smith for Malik Neighbors and Ramondre Stevenson.
I guess if you're trying to get Neighbors,
you got a good tight end in George Kittle already. Cooper Kupp's a solid wide receiver to go along with getting Malik Neighbors, and Jennings has proven to it. At least he's a good flex option. So with the trajectory of where Tyreek is at the moment and Jaden Reed, how he's disappeared in this offense, if this is redraft, I'm doing this trade. If it's dynasty, I can see it going either way. I mean, I like players on both sides of it, but I probably in dynasty would lean with staying with Tyreek Hill and Jaden Reed and Jonnu, just because I think you're giving up too much for just Neighbors and Ramondre Stevenson. But yeah, redraft, I like this trade. I would go ahead and go with it if you are offering it to somebody, and if this was offered to you, I would take it in redraft.
Okay.
In dynasty, it's a whole different animal.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're trying to, you talk me into it. I think, yeah, especially because of the fact, okay, let's just move on. Nathan, so yeah, Broncos got Bengals in the championship in week 16.
Yeah, when sleep on those Bengals. Joe Burrow is cold-blooded. He's putting up points and throwing touchdowns, is chasing them boys. And Chase Brown's is a very good asset too. So Bengals could be a sneaky spoiler team if they're not making a playoff run.
Right. Ray comes back, says, cool, thank you guys.
You're welcome, Ray. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so Nathan says low-key Bucks got a good schedule. Well, look at their division. Of course, they got a good schedule.
Yeah, so that'd be a good, along with the Cardinals, like same tier level of defense that would be sneaky streaming into your playoffs to get you a good solid floor of points.
All right.
Yeah, Riri, if you got a moment too, just let us know if this is if that is a redraft or dynasty.
Ooh.
If that's your you're composing the trade in, and also who are your other running backs that you have? Just a comparative, like where if Ramondre Stevenson would be fitting in right away as your running back 1 or 2, or is he more of just a third or fourth option in the deal? Redraft. Okay, redraft. Yeah, then
I hope
definitely.
Ramondre is like third or fourth option. Well,
yeah,
it could have been 2
though,
or 3.
Being that it's redraft, you have Gibbs and Kamara. Yes, sir. I take that deal.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Thank you. That helped me out. That helped me give you better, context to your deal and help you out a little bit better. All right, Nathan, thank you for joining us tonight. Man. Sleep well, and looking forward to you. Join us next week or Sunday.
Sunday, 7 p.m.
And best of luck for you and your lineups this week.
Yeah, he's holding 3 defenses. Drop them. Stream one. One for each week of the playoffs that time of year. This guy thinking ahead.
You got to think about that, though. And also, streaming defenses like that, you got to think of you playing defense against other people. I mean, they might have had their staple defenses going in through this whole season, but then they have tougher matchups going to the playoffs, and they're looking to pivot. And if they're not available the waiver where you're just playing defense, I mean, I wouldn't overly invest and clog your bench with multiple defenses, but keep an eye on those matchups and what they have. And if you have room on your bench and you got people you're willing to get rid of or okay with dropping for them, I'm all for that strategy. I practice it myself. I mean, it's good because if you can stop, because some of those defenses blow up for like 15, 20 some odd points, and you don't want to be going up against that in the playoffs, because that could be the difference between you getting the balked out right away or you getting over the edge in your lineup.
Very true. Very true. Here's Ray.
Cool, yeah, see, we all feeling it. We were talking about this earlier too. It's just like, as soon as you start sleeping on Tyreek, he could bust. He is the cheetah. He could bust one out on you, but
he is gonna bust one out. But I mean, it's probably just gonna be that one. And I mean, unfortunately, it is probably when you need it.
Yeah, because if the culmination of the whole season is to tell us a story here, is he's had 1 we'll give him 2, weeks that met to expectations where you drafted him in, and the rest of the season has been also he's had poor quarterback play. Tua's been out, and it's just been as a whole compared to last year. I feel like the Dolphins' offense this year is just really out of sync. Like there's no identity.
Well, that's the Dolphins, though, right? Like they're running and Tua gets
hurt.
Yeah.
Well, last year there was an identity. They had big explosive plays. They were getting Achane involved, and Tyreek was still having his big, busting plays and stuff like that. Where this year it doesn't. I don't know. From what I've seen and watched, it just doesn't flow. It is not what I'm used to seeing in a Dolphins offense. So that might be playing into it too. Maybe for this year it's almost a wash for Tyreek, but next year he gets back on the horse and proves us all wrong.
Well, yeah.
But you're welcome, Ray.
Retired too, right? He was about to whatever.
Well, yeah, but he's going for that extension. I think he's coming back, and sometimes it happens like that, But you can't always write off those superstar players like that. They tend to prove you wrong more times than not.
And then they don't write back. Yo, so hey, I'm gonna do a promo really quick, man. Which one? Let me see. I'll do the Shady Sports one. Guys, you're watching Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network. This is the Thanksgiving Turkey Day special. So we'll get into a promo real quick, and when we come back, we got some preview on the Broncos game. Yeah. And then some preview on the Lions game. So we'll keep it moving along, guys. We'll be right back. Yes, sir. You guys, you're watching Fantasy Football Reports on Shady Sports Network. For those of y'all just joining in, those of y'all that have been rocking with us over on X, man. Hey, I see you. All you guys, thanks for getting those comments in. Nathan, Austin tuning in, loyal, bro. Ray.
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. Marky, thanks for joining and getting in on the Sleeper League. Guys, we got the link.
Was he able to get in the Sleeper League? Because it still says 4 of 10.
I don't see him in there. Yeah, I thought you did. I don't. Marky, we'll get it sorted out for sure.
Yeah,
we'll get there. But guys, click that link. You can join us on the Sleeper redraft league.
We're more than happy to have you guys in here tonight in the league with us going into next season. It'd be great.
Yeah, so everybody tune in, CD Smitty, Nathan just keeping it all night, Scooby, all you guys. So, like I said, we wanted to get into these previews, I guess you could say, because Sunday night we weren't on, so we didn't have a chance to talk about just what I think is pretty good wins from both the teams. I know the Lions were earlier in the day, one of the first games in that morning, just came out strong. And then, man, my Broncos just put a thumping.
It was a little close there for a little bit. It was a little close. The Raiders had the lead. It was looking a little...
but compared to the first game where the Raiders came out 2 scores ahead, I think it was a little better. We started a little stronger. But, it was a little close for a while. And then that defense started opening up, man. I felt like man, Bo Nix is just really stepping into his own now. He's looking like a vet out there. He's calling audibles at the line. He's pointing out defenses, and he's really just looking like he's prepared every week to do what he needs to do. Sean Payton has really put a lot into making sure Bo Nix has some plays to just highlight his skill set, and then the other players in the team are starting to play, man. I feel like when the season started, the biggest question was who's he gonna throw it to? Who's gonna do this? Who's gonna do that? And even fantasy wise, the running back room sucks. I wouldn't want to use it, but game wise, it's exactly what they need. It's just to rock that hot hand since they didn't want to go out and get a true number one receiver or running back before trade deadline. But man, yeah, like you said, it was, and then even in the fourth quarter, the Raiders have made a little push, man. Desmond Ridder looked pretty decent,
I don't know. He looked really rough.
Well, yeah, of course,
because he really blew an opportunity of being able to come back and make it a game, and
I thought he came out a little hot. That Broncos defense was rolling by that point.
Yeah, by that second half, the Broncos defense put it on lockdown, especially after Minshew went out. It was, but again, man, I'm disappointed with your team's running game. It's just not consistent enough. So,
it's just whoever has the hot hand they're running with it, but you're right.
But nobody does. It's like you're working with a cold stove here. No one wants to get the eggs cooking.
Should have been Saquon, man. It should have been Saquon. Should have been King Henry. Should have been King Henry.
But props to the Denver defense, though, holding that game, keeping it within reach, and Bo Nix taking it over and, relying on his big man and Courtland Sutton to get that big touchdown and putting him over the edge and sealing that victory.
Sutton, ever since he had that 0-target game, he has gone off. Courtland Sutton, I mean, he had almost 30 points this past game, 97 yards, 2 tutties on 8 receptions. Not even a whole lot of receptions, man. 14 points the game for that, 19 points the game for that, 23 points, 17 ever since. And then that, of course, that New Orleans game, which even before that, he was pretty solid. But man, Bo Nix has been going out of his way to get the ball.
And the special teams, the punter putting the Raiders in deep, in their own territory on punts, and then Will Lutz doing his best Jake Bates impression and
Will Lutz
nailing 50-yard kicks, and so
that was a kicker
that really helps.
For a while. That was a kicker batter between him and Carlson for a while.
Yeah, but Will Lutz, props to him, man, nailing those 50-yarders, keeping them in that game, because that's not easy to do, and he didn't make it look easy.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. I have not been the highest on Will Lutz. I guess I just haven't been high on this team until, the past.
I know if you guys have been with us since the beginning. Ced's having some wavering, faith at the beginning of the preseason. Man, it was the first week, and then
it was all unknown. Right? and like you said, now we're like, okay, well, what the heck? If the running game,
we're seeing the evolution of a Bo Lever, the growth of.
Man, I tell you, I see so much of it around here too. Just hearing it on the fan and talking to people, talking to fans, talking to people around the city and stuff. Just like, oh man,
and that's so great comparatively to where this team was at with expectations and standards at the beginning of the year. It's come a long way. Even if this year doesn't come to fruition and get you the ultimate goal, at least you have a bunch of building blocks and a bunch of foundational pieces that you've established this year to carry on into the next year.
Sure, we're talking about playoffs too. There's a chance. We could be the division to take 3 teams to the playoffs, and there's every right for it. Or we could have 2 teams to the playoffs. We still, we're playing the Chargers here in 2 weeks.
But you're playing meaningful games in December, and that's what matters. Where this time last year, you guys were just, rolling along.
Well, Sean Payton was just seeing what he had this time last year. And then, before that, we had Nathaniel Hackett. And then before that, Vic Fangio was happy to win in October. So we've come a ways for sure.
So was there any significant injuries for your Broncos out of this game or any just
Riley Moss went down. I tell you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So hopefully he comes back.
Yeah, it sounded like he possibly could make this game.
He could. He has 8. He has until Monday night to get ready. So we'll see. It's his MCL. So doesn't sound like it's super, super, super serious. But other than that, no, everybody really came out a bit unscathed.
That's good. That's good.
Afterwards, who got picked up by the
All
Giants,
they did was they lost Greg Dulcich, and that was about it.
He's been hurt his entire career, so we didn't lose.
Yeah, they were just gone.
Yeah. So, just that Riley Moss was.
So now, what are you looking forward to this week against the Browns? What are you looking to have the Broncos improve on? Right? Something they can get better at?
Yeah, well, the Browns one of those teams where if you're going to be a good team, you got to beat these teams like the Browns. And there's, of course,
Well,
they beat the
they showed
Ravens.
an admirable performance against the Steelers, and the Steelers are no slouch. They're the division leaders at the start of last week, and
Yeah, but
they're
it still
known to
ain't the
be like a tough
Broncos.
team to play against in the elements. And the Browns really held their own. They took care of business. They did. It wasn't it wasn't definitive, but at the end of the day, they ate the W.
And this is in Denver. Let me see. I don't think. Well, who knows? Who cares what the weather report says? It'll do whatever it wants to do out here. But Monday night, it's supposed to be in like the high 40s, 50. So
Well, both teams can play in the cold. They can play in the snow. So, what do you think the X factor is to put the Broncos over the hump to get past these Browns?
just going out and doing what they need to do. Just going out and executing their plays.
I know one thing.
Was that
they need to run the ball better. They need to control the clock, keep the ball out of the Browns' offense's hands, because that's where you're going to get beat. It's not going to be by the Browns' defense. It's going to be by Jameis Winston throwing all over the place and having a field day if Riley Moss doesn't play, because that's an exploitable factor in the game. If Riley Moss doesn't play, that opens it up for Winston to throw the balls. There's pass catchers all over the place and kind of get the game out of hand for the Broncos. They need to, I think, from an outside, football fan looking in at this game objectively, is if whoever runs the ball more efficiently should win this game.
Yeah. No, I just think the Broncos should just come out and just kind of put
the Broncos are the better team.
Yeah, they're a much better team. I think they'll have the much better running game too. I know Nick Chubb, is one seen as much. It's something to be heralded, but I think the Broncos will come out and do what they need to do. I don't think
They can't let the Browns punk them. They can't go down 14-0 right away.
Especially the past two games we played against the Browns, it hasn't been the best.
I don't remember the box scores, but they weren't pretty games.
Yeah, I remember third string running backs getting, over 100, almost 200 yards rushing. So, yeah, it's been
not this week though, right?
Not this week.
Not happening?
This week. Nah, it's not happening, man. We're not.
How about that Broncos defense? If you're starting the Broncos defense, how many sacks are they getting?
Man, if you're starting the Broncos defense, they're probably getting, I'd say, at least one sack.
At least one sack against Winston?
Are
they forcing any turnovers, any fumbles, do you think? Any picks? They got to pick Winston off once, right?
I think there's going to be one pick. I think there's going to be two picks. I think Pat Surtain will get one. I think one of the linebackers will grab one of them too.
So do you think that the Broncos defense, though, comparatively between the two defenses, you're starting the Broncos over the Browns?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then, so do you think, it could be a 10-plus point night for the Broncos on defense?
I could see that. Man. Okay. They got 19 points last week against the Raiders, so I could see that. They've been on a tear ever since week 1, so
you're not worried at all about this matchup coming up on Monday night.
No, I'm very pro Broncos this Monday night. Even with it being a weird Monday night. I mean, it's Monday night. Anything can happen.
Are you starting Bo Nix?
Yeah. If I got him, I'm starting him. Yeah.
Over Jameis Winston?
Ooh. That's a toss-up. I think if I got Jameson, I'm probably starting.
I personally would start Bo Nix over Winston just because of the mobility factor.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, Bo Nix hasn't done a 30 for 30 yet either, so I would probably stick with Bo Nix too.
Okay. Out of the running backs, are you starting Broncos over Chubb, or are you leaning more Chubb over?
Yeah, I'd probably start Javonte over Chubb.
Okay.
I'd start Javonte over Chubb.
Do you like your Broncos wide receivers over the wide receiver group of the Browns, or you think it's even? Or
I think it's probably closer to even, but I do like Sutton over the
Judy Browns. Revenge game brewing.
I don't know if Judy has it in him. We'll see.
Got him.
We'll see, right? Nah.
He wants to get in the end zone, though. He
wants to, but
he's looking at Jameis like, just throw me the ball.
He's gonna be in the end zone, and Pat Surtain's gonna have the ball running the other way. So
he's gonna unplug his controller.
Yeah, he can stay in the end zone. We'll have the ball. But Tight ends, I'd say it's a wash. It's a wash.
I think Njoku's got the edge over the Broncos tight ends.
I don't know.
Just because we haven't seen it from
yeah.
the Broncos tight ends. We haven't
Yeah.
seen, like, comparatively to, like, what Njoku's done this year. Like, there's nobody in the tight end room for the Denver that, you know, is comparative to Njoku.
Yeah, I can see that.
So what's the final score overall with
Broncos
Browns?
Yeah, I think this final score, Broncos Browns, I think you're gonna see another solid outing from the Broncos offense, even without a really, really good running game. And then you're gonna see them get over 25 points again. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go 28 Broncos. 28 Broncos, and then I'm gonna go 17 Browns.
Wow. So kind of close, or is it just like
Yeah, I could see Jameis.
Is it a blowout and then the Browns catch up, or is it?
I was
real
gonna
close?
say I could see the Browns coming with a touchdown and a field goal in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Try to bring it close, make it look like it was close at least.
All right. Still, your team's coming out ahead, so that's good. That's good. Hopefully, it proves to be a very fantasy fruitful game and can provide for people some Monday Night Miracles.
Right, we'll see. Yeah, because Monday night game. Yeah. Now moving on. So yeah, we got on the other end of the spectrum Thursday morning game. So yeah, one
you got your turkey in the oven. You got all your fixings going. Your family's starting to come through the door. You got the football game on, and
we got the Lions and the Bears.
Yes, sir.
The Bears. How you feeling? What are your thoughts?
I feel like the Lions handle business. They break that Thanksgiving Day curse. They win it for the first time in 7 years, and they take care of business. It's just another Sunday.
Okay. What do you
think
actually? And I guess I'm getting ahead too, because let's talk about last week.
Oh yes, yeah.
Another morning game for the Lions. Against the Colts, the Lions dominate 24-6. What were your thoughts from that game?
I thought it was a very it almost felt like with all the injuries and such, just like a survival game. Like they did good. They didn't allow a single touchdown in the second half again, which was impressive against Anthony Richardson and that team that was putting up points last week. And played as well as they did, I think, on the road. Like that fan base too for the Lions showing up in Indianapolis really played an effect on that game, having that support in the crowd, and the players played off of that. The defense did all right. I mean, Kendall Vildor he was getting lit up there in the secondary. I mean, a couple of those plays go a different way, and I think it's a little bit different of a ball game in the favor of the Colts, but you know, it bent the way of the Lions, and you know their defense is getting a little bit more pressure and challenging Richardson. So I thought defensively it was an awesome game. Offensively, I was a little bit disappointed in the passing game as far as fantasy wise. I thought Goff would at least get one touchdown in there, but he was hitting third down throws. He was finding Jameson deep. He was finding Amon-Ra for the first downs, and Tim Patrick doing his thing, having a big game himself, doing well. It was good to see. And, Sonic and Knuckles just, going for high scores, man. Touchdown. And just, taking real control of that game. And that offensive line, like I said, going into that game before Sunday, is that they were going to control how this game goes. And they were moving bodies and making holes for their running backs and really setting the tone, and it really pushed them over the edge. That game was won in the trenches by the Lions, which is very impressive. So I thought, I expected them to come out with a win, and they, lived up to what I had expected of them.
Big time. I felt like I looked up and, man, I had so many points from Gibbs and Montgomery before, like I even knew what was going on. Like, it was definitely a solid outing from the running game. Fortunately, Montgomery got hurt. So we'll see how
And
that
luckily, it
goes.
wasn't that serious of an injury. They're just being precautionary. Like, he probably could have went back in. He said he could, and Dan thought so too, but they thought the better option playing Thursday, that they just take it easy.
Yeah, and then they got St. Brown on the injury report as well too. So we'll see how that looks moving forward. So yeah, how are you feeling about this Turkey Day game? We started talking about it. He said he hoped they break the curse.
Yeah, I hope they get that monkey off their back. I hope they exercise these demons and like get it off of a Bears team they should win against. They should beat these Bears. And comparatively so, these other teams in the NFC North have been struggling to beat their opponents where Lions been playing these same opponents like the AFC South and these other divisional rivals. It's just they're taking care of business and they're not giving the other team any hope. Like these games are decided early on and decisively. So I think Caleb Williams and those guys, if they play their best game, they can make it an honest showing and make it competitive and a good watch for all of us on Thanksgiving. But ultimately, I think the better team is going to win, and I believe that's the Lions. Like, they're just going to keep taking care of business, and they know they have that motivation because those other teams behind them in the division, the Vikings and the Packers, like, they know they can't slip up, they can't drop games because those guys are right behind them to come after the top. And when the crown's heavy when you're the king, so they got to really just stay focused, see the goal ahead of them, and keep doing what's working with them, and keep just getting it done.
Yeah. So as far as the quarterbacks go, who are you rocking with, Jared Goff or Caleb Williams?
For fantasy wise, I would rock Jared Goff. I think he has a bounce back game. I think Aaron Glenn will have his defensive backs contain Caleb enough to where he's not going to bust a big play. I mean, I think he still could have a solid game. He could have a couple hundred yards in, like, whatever, but he's not going to, bust one on him running it, and he's not going to, break the game for him. I think they're going to keep him in check relatively so to where, I think Goff playing at home, they'll get into their bag of tricks and they'll have some plays that, I could see Jameson or Amon-Ra, if he plays, bust one big. Or even Laporta, get him fed and going. So I think,
hopefully,
it's like what you said earlier. Goff's had these bad games, super good games, bad games, good games, bad games. All right. So, like, by the trend of things, last week was considerably like a bad game for him fantasy wise. So if that trend is true, he should come back and, bounce back and have himself a game.
There we go. As far as the running backs,
Sonic and Knuckles all day, every day.
Right.
Bears running backs can't hang with those guys.
Yeah, I get you. All right. Moving on to wide receiver.
I mean, you can make a case, Swift could break one. He could do his thing at the goal line, but they got to get there first.
There, yeah. So, all right, then wide receivers, St. Brown and Williams.
I think this is closer than you think. I think this is an evenly matched matchup. It could go one way or the other, but with my I'm leaning the Lions side of it. I think Laporta and Williams, and I think Tim Patrick, because Khalif Raymond is hurt and it's a serious foot injury and he's not likely to play. So I think all those wide receiver threes, those third, options in the offense, I think he's got the edge over Allen Robinson, and he should have himself a decent game, move the chains. I mean, I'd like to see him get a touchdown here one of these weeks. It'd be great just to build his confidence and really solidify him as part of the offense for being that reliable alternate option to opposite Jameson Williams or Amon-Ra. So I think between the battle of Odunze, Allen, and Moore, I think it spreads out evenly amongst themselves, where they all have like a decent game. Whereas I think one of the big games is going to come from either Williams or Amon-Ra St. Brown, if that makes sense. Like, Moore and Allen and Odunze could all have, like, good games, but like blow the top off kind of a game would be coming from Jameson Williams or Amon-Ra.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, then tight ends. How you feeling about that?
I mean, they're both underperforming relatively to where they were at the beginning of the year and even last year. I liked Cole Kmet. I thought he was a good tight end, but I think Caleb is just not seeing him right now. He's more focused on wide receivers. So I like to say Sam Laporta, though. I think he gets right in this game, and he has his big play.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully. I feel like
I know you have a lot of shares of him, so that'll be good for you if he,
Right. He better. What about the kickers? I know we were talking about Bates earlier.
Yeah, I'm staying at the Bates Motel. I still, I haven't checked out yet, so I'm sticking over with Jake Bates because the other guy, he's got 2 field goals blocked in the back-to-back weeks. So,
hey, Caleb Williams can't kick field goals either. He can't throw the ball.
Nothing we know of.
Field goals. What about defenses? Are you rocking your Lions defense over the Bears?
I'm gonna rock my Lions defense. I think they'll bend and not break. Whereas, I can see on the Bears side of it, the Lions could bust a hole open on them and releases the floodgates. Where I think the Lions could give up chunk plays here and there, but I just don't see them giving up too many touchdowns or any mistakes that cause them to lose the game.
Okay. So what are your predictions for the score on this one?
Score. Because this is the first time they're playing the Bears this year, right?
Yes.
I think so. And usually the first time they play them, it really is like a lower scoring slugfest. But I want to say for a score, probably 30 for the Lions. And we'll go 13 for the Bears. I think they get a touchdown in, but then after that, a couple field goals and call it a day. If they don't get blocked.
Right. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah,
wow,
that's a score that I'd like to see.
You don't even have them scoring a touchdown?
I do. I have them scoring 1 touchdown at least, but they get 1 freebie.
Okay. So kind of like a blowout on Thanksgiving morning. All right, so guys, that was we got the previews, the reviews. What are you looking forward to this Turkey Day this weekend? What's your favorite dish? Leave that in the comments. Hit us up on the Facebook group. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish? Before we get out of here, Austin has something really quick.
I was gonna say, can we get to his? He'd send us off. Austin, thank you for joining us.
What an episode, guys. Thanks for rocking it. And look at people.
And we like that you've been coming back so much, so we'd like to see you in the Fantasy Football League if you care to join us, if that's your thing. If not, that's cool too.
Click that link. You want to join. Would you trade Jameson Williams, Tyreek Hill, and Rashad White for Derrick Henry? Yeah, I didn't have to finish.
Oh, wow. I mean, as much as I would like to keep Jameson Williams, but
maybe just trade away Juwan Jennings. Put Juwan Jennings, Tyreek Hill, and Rashad White. Why are people trying to keep Juwan Jennings? Just get rid of him. Right?
You heard from Seth first.
Well, because he had it, and now CMC's back, and it's gonna revolve around him in that offense. Right? And
I like your running back room, Austin. You have Gibbs, Montgomery already, so adding Henry to that is just chef's kiss. Just mwah. Hell yeah, dude. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody, for your questions, your fancy input, everything. We love the interaction, the activity here in chat. It's helped build this show. Even go later tonight, and even better, we love it. Just keep it coming. And if you want to keep this thing going after we go offline, Facebook group, Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports. Can answer your stuff here between now and the Thursday games and the Sunday games. So just keep this thing going. We're here for you. We like doing this for you. And if you like checking out other stuff on this network other than us, we got all kinds of stuff that Seth could run you through here.
Yeah, guys, just head over to shadysportsnetwork.com and look it up on all your favorite social media channels, Shady Sports Network, especially on the Discord. We're trying to, get that Discord page going. So if you use Discord, head over, join us, SSN Network or SSN Sports Chat. So Shady Sports Network. And yeah, join us, man. Come chat with us. Keep this going off channel too. So Austin, you get those questions, then hop over in the Facebook group, hop over in the Sleeper group or Sleeper app. Just hop over in the Discord, and I guarantee we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And we just love to keep the conversation going over there as well. Yeah. Other than that, catch us Sunday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then every Tuesday as well too at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Keep those questions coming in. We love those questions. We love the interaction, and yeah, don't forget, hit that like, share, and subscribe button, guys. Share it out, subscribe. Other than that, Justin, you got anything else?
I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving dinner. You have a good time with family and friends or whoever you may be celebrating that day. Just be grateful for one another. Grateful you have another shot at tomorrow, and you be grateful for playing fantasy football and all the things that you have in your life situation. So I'm grateful for you guys here joining with us tonight. I'm grateful for Ced having me on here, the show with you guys. And I really look forward to seeing you all on Sunday. Let's bring that energy on Sunday with our teams. So with that being said, I hope you all have a good night, and may your matchups go in your favor.
Yeah, like you said, happy Thanksgiving from us over here at Shady Sports Network. And then just over here on the bus, on the bandwagon. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. And I'm thankful for you guys as well too. Justin, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for Shawnee. Thankful for Shady Sports Network to give us this platform to just be able to put our voice out and just kind of hang around and just talk our opinion. So that's all it is, right? Just talking our opinion. So
thank you, Sam.
Yeah, Sam, thank you for letting us do this. And guys, head over to Shady Sports Network. Like I said, there's so many sports. There's the Big Three Basketball League. There's the AIF Arena Football, indoor football, outdoor tackle football, flag. So many other sports. Wrestling every Monday night on Monarchs of Wrestling. So head over to Shady Sports Network. And just keep rocking with us, guys. We love the interaction. Keep it coming. We had a lot of you in here tonight, so hopefully we see a lot of you back on Sunday night. And
hope you bring your friends.
Bring your friends.
Plenty of room on this bus.
Oh man, this bus is going, and we just keep expanding it. So tell those friends, come hop on. They can just kick back, relax, and let us take you where you need to go. So have a great night, guys. We'll see you Sunday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. It's been fun.
I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. Changer.